just seeing as you got slower heroes like Omni Knight, IO, Slark isn't the fastest either.
Has TNC played Shadow Fiend? Okay, they're gonna pick Earthshaker, so that is the Tim's hero.
Yep. Give you some team fight, give you some re-engage. You have the IO obviously go in. You have an Earthshaker behind him now, which is nice.
No, it's solid. I also like to play Shaker with Slark quite a lot, especially in nighttime. He gives you good vision. He kind of goes in for you, so he can set you up in team fights, but you can also set up the IO Slark around ganks in the game.
I think TNC,
solid pick.
Sorry, like you were talking about SF, I think TNC played side lane SF and like a mid-puck or something like that. I think it might have been them, but you're looking at just like, you just want a good, solid, like single target physical damage.
Yeah, I would like a sort of timing hero, you know, mid-game hero that can go with the team, maybe pressure some buildings. I also think he's fine in the lane and slash. And I think another thing you're looking for is that this last pick buys a BKB. Even if you get doomed on SF, you can right-click, perhaps you get BKB Requiem off, and it's really good against these Fnatic heroes. None of them have any magic immunity, so Requiem should be pretty solid for them if they do pick up the SF.
Yeah, you're right, Cap. They played it once before, and it was Gabby that came playing it.
And they did play it side lane, yeah?
They played it on the...
Side lane SF.
Safe lane.
Interesting.
That's...
I like it.
Yeah.
Creative.
You like it?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't win.
Trying it out.
They did not win?
They did not win.
Someone else did it and they won.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe Alliance? Who knows?
All right, we got a Lina band out on the side of Fnatic. And TNC looking for their mid hero. They know it's probably going to go up against Leshrac.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, Moon's favorite hero. They ban out the Naga. That's the thing. 23 Savage having another great tournament, right? He went through that whole SCA at TI with how do you pronounce the name? Genespris?
Yeah,
yeah, something like that.
Made up word, basically.
Yeah, he looked good. He moved up, and like people, this thing, right? He is kind of like that new pub star feeling. Like, is he gonna be as good as he was then, or is it a one-time thing? And after we saw Secret, he's definitely there. Nice call, Kezu.
Good call.
Got on a roll. Close it out, Kezu.
You have to pick this one, or else you can never come back on panel again.
Oh dear.
Oopsie. All right. Also, Fnatic, they're kind of open. I could pick a mid or safe laner here. I guess it's most likely that this Lesh is in the mid role. So we need a safe laner. Let's see. What stuff is banned out?
I can tell you we still have in the pool of heroes that 23 Savage has picked Medusa, PL, AM.
What about more catch and team fight? What about Kunkka than side lane Lesh?
I don't like
on that one.
I don't like it too much.
Okay.
I don't know. Something sour about that Kunkka.
Okay,
I don't dig it.
I don't have the same kind of refined taste buds that has.
It's fine.
Have to,
could you anti-mage here? I'm not sure. Seems a bit slow. But PL is also hard to play. There's both Shaker and SF AoE.
Oh.
This doesn't seem too easy of a last pick to make, to be honest. I think this is going to come down more to their comfort of their carry player here. Yeah. I'm having a kind of a hard time seeing like what exactly they want.
Yeah, and you talked about they just have no saves on Fnatic. They actually have 0 saves besides probably a Glimmer Cape on the CM, and if that's all you have, you're
got a lot of ranged nukes. Could you do Void?
I think Void is okay here.
Isn't Void already a little bit countered with the Omni Knight though?
A little.
Maybe.
Not necessarily, just because there's so much magic AoE on Fnatic, so I think they can still pump out some damage. Yeah. I feel like they might end up side laning this Leshrac. I feel like they have more options for the mid lane to pick here.
Who would you want to put against the SF then? If you did.
Perhaps TA. I think they need some physical hero, like some physical damage here. I'm not quite sure. TA.
Well, for the lifestealer.
Ooh, that's a save for Leshrac. I think that just for that reason.
Can you explain, Cap?
Infest giving you just raw HP. 400, 800, 1200. Is that what?
Something like that.
Yeah. I was like an insane amount of HP later on to the game.
Get the Ags, you're good to go.
Yeah, get the rage.
So DJ, Crystal Maiden. We saw it. Pops off. You get items. You actually do a lot of damage. He's a big part of their team fight.
Yeah.
So it comes online pretty fast too. I quite like it. It's just another frontliner. Oh, TNC's joined the cell, so Jesus. I love it.
That is great. Yeah, we were saying, you just get some hype and they're just hyping each other up. It's great. I do need to hear from you guys who we feel is the favorite. We said before the draft
Shadow Fiend. I do think that Fnatic have the right answers if they play the early game properly, but I'll prefer to be TNC this game.
Is it only because you couldn't last pick Fnatic's hero?
Not
could call out the Shadow Fiend to your bias? Is that it?
Maybe slightly.
Maybe slightly. Okay. Well, then I'll go for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, I bet against the Hector Lifestealer. I'm not going to bet against the 23 Savage Lifestealer, so.
Fair enough. So let's find out what's going to happen in the first game of this series with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful way to start the day. A bit of SEA action from our two favorite SEA teams, Fnatic and TNC. Good to go this morning. We've had the drafts coming in, folks. What are you excited to see from this?
I mean, there's Io. Io's in the game. He's always fun to watch, right? Everybody loves to watch Io. Yeah, no. Io's a good fun one, but also we have a lot of fun combos, right? Fnatic, they do have a lot of ways with their double dooms, Grimstroke combos. Some cool stuff definitely coming into play with that. And we do get to see, we're blessed with a Tim Shaker as well. It may not be like a super flashy game where he's not playing like against all these illusions and stuff like that, but we've seen Tim's play this hero time after time. He loves it. He's lots of fun. And we will, of course, see DJ and the Crystal Maiden. That's another like big highlight one that we did just see brought up there, because he is a lot of fun to watch on that hero.
I mean, overall as well, would you say that certain teams come out top of the drafts? You know, considering especially like those last picks, is there? Oh, DJ.
Uh-oh. That's some Agi. +1. +1 right there, right at the start.
Thank you very much. It says Gabby.
There's certain things I do like. There's some like nice core matchup things that I do like that I saw on Fnatic's side when they were drafting. Like the, you know, they picked the Leshrac after the Slark, a good hero because you can always deal damage, even though if he does get Shadow Dance. They have the Doom versus the Omni Knight, which is pretty nice too. And then they have Lifestealer versus Shadow Fiend. Like these type of matchups are pretty nice. But the overall aspect, TNC has a pretty damn strong draft. I think this should be a pretty contested game. This should be fun.
Yeah, it does feel like it could be a little hard for Fnatic to really sort of go for the core heroes with the backup that TNC's lineup's going to have, right? The Io, the Omni Knight, they've got some great saves. Even Tim's throwing out a Fisher to sort of separate these heroes. You know, this Lifestealer from trying to get on top of someone could make it pretty tricky in the mid game for Fnatic to run down TNC.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's definitely true. The sustain is definitely one thing that I have seen a lot of times versus Doom lineups that really kind of makes the hero, I mean, doesn't make the hero bad by any means or anything like that, but makes the hero actually look like he has a weakness, because you actually can reset and re-engage after the fight because you can heal someone and persist through the Doom. Good positioning for the lane for KP because of that fissure. And he should be able to do a decent amount up here too because of this Earthshaker. If they can get some good fissure blocks like that too, he could actually look to pressure like the Grimstrokes. And again, DJ!
That's another permanent bit of Agi for Gabby.
That's actually bizarre too. Like, was he? Did he go for like a courier or something like that? Was he like?
I mean, it's early morning. You know, maybe a late night last night. He's just waking up, DJ.
Yeah, I know that. Like, yeah, so Gabby got an early Orb of Venom, so maybe that did catch him off guard because CM is slow. But like, what positioning was he standing in that they were actually able to get on top of him and hit him? Definitely a bit of a blunder in that bottom lane at the start there for DJ.
You got to respect that Orb of Venom slot. And off the back of those 2 kills, Gabby's going to be hitting 2 pretty soon. And once that's there, DJ's going to be even more vulnerable. So has to stay on top of those positioning. You know, sure, you are just a support, but feeding kills to the safe lane Slark early on never feels good. Gabby is going to be very, very happy with this.
I did not think Armel would come off to that hot of a start in that first 2 waves. He is 7-4 to the 4-2 Lesh track. I thought Lesh would have a much better time in the first few because Earthshaker wasn't there either at the start. So now Moon, now he's going to be pressured in mid. Earthshaker's going to sit around the area, and they can actually easily set up for these raise plays. Armel's 3 now. Oh. Moon has to be very careful how he steps up.
A Fisher and a couple of raises and a right click would do the job if they can get that set up. So Moon has got to respect Tim's, keep himself on the high ground, not step too far forward.
Man, these lanes are actually looking just much better on the side of TNC, just all across the board. That mid matchup now has completely gone in their favor.
Ice!
And now Ice!
He's dead!
Another one! Not a permanent edge.
They didn't quite get him whilst quick enough after Gabby got the touch in, so... Yeah. But still, giving go. Oh, no, well, that would... Gabby, 2. He's going to have to jump forward. The frostbite is there, and there he goes. Ice will be able to block.
But they'll just hit him anyway. He's like, okay, just give me some little casual stats so I can back up on the lane. That is...
Gabby's looks scary. This is quite a solid start to the safe lane of TNC. It's already 2K lead here at 2 minutes in.
Mid's a disaster. 16-9 to 7-2. And Tim's is just going to, like we said, he's just going to sit around the area. Jabs has to do something to kind of alleviate this. And I think you're going to have to just accept the fact that KP is just going to get a great lane on the Omni Knight now top if you are this Grimstroke with the Lifestealer in your lane. You have to make sure that Moon doesn't get punished by these rotations from the Earthshaker. It's going to be easy kills. Definitely a concern in these first 3 minutes. It's a 2K gold leader,
yeah. I bet they're getting this advantage. Very, very nicely early on. Ice struggling to hit the creeps because he knows that even as the Doom, it's very hard for him to get in. He's got to sort of hope for a nice neutral creep to go and find.
Yeah, and they can't pressure this lane at all because the thing about CM is you're annoying because you constantly think you're spamming your spells on somebody, but IO, you just click overcharge afterwards and you have a headdress anyway, so you're actually counteracting all of the damage that's coming up in this lane.
Oh yeah.
And Gabby and Armel are gonna have full free farm, and KP is also, like we said, gonna have a good lane top. He might actually be able to set up for kills if Tim's rotates.
There's the fish, yep. KP's in on top of Jabs for the purification. That's a kill. TNC looking hot this morning. That's Moon. It's got to be a little bit careful there. A couple of raises stacking up, but the ball is full, so has the regen to pump himself back up to pretty much full with those bottle charges.
Fnatic's got to do something to fix these lanes because I think if they just keep these lanes static, it's just going to get worse and worse. So some moves are going to have to be done by the supports. And right away we are seeing DJ, but I think DJ actually just went to go jungle. He's not actually looking to help the lanes. So he's jungling the hard camp of the Radiant side. And now he's looking to actually make a move toward mid, but...
It's going to be hard to do, because Tim's just constantly sat
Look at that.
Around here.
Yep, he's just waiting in position to try to set up for a fissure so they can get these raise plays. They've been offensively glyphed so they can keep this aggressive move. 13-3 to 20 to 30-13. Armel dominating this matchup.
And this is what, in terms of these heroes, well, we'll actually hold that for, because bottom lane Ice.
Whoop.
They're going to dive him. That's another kill. Again, not quite killing him in time to get the agi buff, but still, it's a dead hero. Gabby knows that he can pick up the permanent pickoffs later.
Lesh in the past used to do, I don't know about now with the matchup, how exactly it is. I think maybe Shadowfiend does actually just do a lot better now, but Lesh in the past used to have a pretty good matchup because you just spam the lightning on the SF and you secure range creeps, but SF has changed quite a lot since those times, and Armel's definitely proving. And there's also Nurse.
Oh, not again.
Pressure. No, oh no, Ice!
He just come back to the lane.
And more agi.
Yeah, this time he will get it, Gabby.
This game is getting disastrous very quickly. 6-0, 3K gold lead, 3 lanes just completely won.
Oh no. Maybe they just didn't get the chance to have their breakfast this morning, Fnatic.
Well, I say completely won. Lifestealer is still free farming, but the fact that Omni is getting he's getting full levels. He's going to be level 5 and he got himself a kill. That is, yeah, this is a concern.
And we have seen the old Lifestealer carry a few games, and there's every reason to believe in him.
But he is versus a Slark. That's the thing. Slark is a very good hero.
Yeah.
Versus him. So, I mean, Shadowfiend, the thing is, like, Lifestealer is good versus Shadowfiend for the most part in the games, but if an SF starts to get really, really far ahead, he just is going to hit you with that physical damage quite hard from a distance, and he does have to
DJ.
Away.
Oh, no. And they saw him there with that courier passing over. He's going to hide. He's going to hope. And they won't go hunting for him. Top lane, they'll try and make a play here onto KP. KP got the Heavenly Grace buffing him up as he walks off. And he's going to live. A click from Jabs, not quite enough to finish him. Mid lane Moon actually seeing an opportunity to run down Armel, and DJ comes in, a big kill. A very, very needed one there for Fnatic as Armel is taken down.
That's wow. I don't know how he got on top against Armel, just stepped up a bit too far, and that less track movement speed was able to just close the distance. Okay. 23 Savage though with the late infest up top. It feels like they could have actually had KP if he just insta-did it for that burst damage, but
we'll see what the moves are going to be next for Moon in particular. He's having that slow start in the lane, but you can see also getting that kill. It's not actually that different between them two. You know, 2,800 on Armel's SF, 2,500 on Moon's Lash. That's not too bad considering how the early CS was going heavily in favor of the Shadow Fiend.
I'm worried about bottom right now though. Look at Ice. He's just constantly being chased. He's trying to get somewhat of something. He does have the TP, but oh my god.
He's out.
Thank God for the buckler. Trusty shovel, go to Tim's. He's got a lot of downtime in between. Of course, he'll get the Kobold first.
Nice burst. Yeah, it's going to be a slow start for Ice.
Yep.
It's only just, I think, still level 3 at the moment. Very close to level 4, but it's a very, very rough beginning for the offlaner. But it seems to be sort of the trend. We see a lot of offlaners at the moment in this meta having some very tough starts. If they end up in these sort of lanes where they're against a matchup that they really struggle to do anything against. And that really was the case here. This Slark IO lane just had so much sustain that there was no amount of bullying that could be done to stop Gabby from having free farm down here.
Yeah, but look at the comparison. KP nearly level 7 compared to a level 4 Doom. I just pulled up the levels myself and it's across the board, yeah. TNC having a much better distribution of levels across their heroes at the moment. The Lesh is having that high advantage, but you see these supports level 5 on the IO because of these kills they've gotten bottom. They're gonna actually be able to set up relocate plays pretty early on that might catch Fnatic off guard. And also Slark that might have a diffusal blade coming out when that first relocate comes out. Could definitely be quite a thorn in their side.
Oh yeah, he's definitely on track to getting a quick one. Rotation from Tim's. Fisher block won't quite be there, but Gabby can still work his way around it. Actually doesn't want to commit. So Ice will live. Tim's slightly off the mark there with that Fisher. Doesn't quite get the angle right to block Ice next to the slot. So the Doom will live another day.
Tim's being super active. We see the wards coming out from the side of Fnatic. Actually just watching the river to try to see Tim's movements. And now DJ, he steps up far.
Yeah, he's going to have TP back coming in. We'll see if they can take down DJ. The first raise off the mark. DJ finally falls, but look who's there. There's the back of the save. And they go March trying to heal Armel up against this aggression. The Fnatic's trying to respond with his silence, and they kill off the SF. They'll turn towards March as TNC, they're going to get punished for that aggressive dive, trying to go in and go for DJ underneath the tower. More than enough time for Fnatic to bring in the numbers and punish both the Shadow Fiend and the IO.
That's a pretty big of a yikes play too, because it's like a level 3 Crystal Maiden that they're going for with a level 9 Shadow Fiend diving and giving up his life. That was a very risky call for TNC to try to make that aggressive move there. And they don't really gain anything. That was like a low risk, a high risk, low reward play that they actually went for to kill the Crystal Maiden. So a bit surprising to see them really push the issue past the tower there. Maybe not expecting Fnatic to TP, but yeah, Fnatic gets so much. Ice now almost level 6 off of that. A great response by them.
Oh, they had a great lead off the back of the lane, CNC. They've got to be careful not to let it slip away down to making questionable players like this. Yep. They'll try and get back on with the pressure on the mid. Tim's is looking again to get an angle if anyone steps forward. Ice is being careful. He knows that they're going to want to fight, especially with Gabby showing his head in the mid lane alongside Armel. That's Fnatic.
This lets them, they want to be able to dive more. That's what this tells me. They really want to be able to take out this mid tower so none of these like TPs will be able to coming in out forward as far. So they can make all these aggressive plays as the Doom comes out, but the Fissure is just going to split and that's a free disengage. That's a waste of Doom.
I mean, this is the power of TNC's lineup against the Doom. They've just got so many ways to get their teammates out of that.
Yep.
And to make it very hard for the rest of Fnatic to follow up a Doom initiation.
11-12, or 11-22 it looked like, 11-20, Tread's defusal finished up. Lifestealer, though, keeping pace, only 400 gold behind. Still really nice for 23 Savage.
A Moon. Just gonna find Gabby. Gabby is able to jump down to the low ground. They're gonna look to take the courier. They did manage to get the diffusal blade out though, Gabby, before the courier was killed off. So now Gabby can look to go on the hunt. Look to get these kills. Mid lane, setups there from Tims and Jabs. He's dead.
Moon's actually just cutting the tower behind. If you see, he's doing the Edict in the tree play right now, mid. He actually just took out the whole tower. He was just sitting in the tree line. He popped Edict and just sat there while that play was happening mid. So he evenly does take out that tower. So now it was whatever. He lost his mid tower, he'll take out theirs. That's pretty huge to be able to deny that TP access. Ice. Stepped up pretty far forward.
Straight away goes for the TP out before TNC's able to look for him in the trees. Gabby just back to lane, back to farming, gets his BKB queued up. It's going to be very important to allow him to fight against this sort of Lesh CM.
These aggressive wards, really interesting positionings here by Fnatic. They're eventually going to get red, but these are a little bit unorthodox wards that we don't see too often. So they actually missed their D ward initially. Now they're going to go back. Gabby has a sentry. They're going to give it to him to just make sure that he does get that D ward. We'll see that happen a lot. You know, the Slog thing. Just give Slog sentries so he's not under vision. But we've evened out completely. That gold lead was almost a 3K plus, and we're now sitting below 1K now. Fnatic. Nice moves have recovered.
Fnatic came back ahead. Unless TNC look for plays and find kills, 23 Savage is just going to be able to farm that a little bit faster as this Lifestealer with the Maelstrom. No, Gabby, he's got to find action.
It's a fighting build, so he's got to go look to make sure that those fights do happen. And yeah, slow down that Maelstrom Lifestealer that we've seen so often. And he does. He's starting to find him. He's starting to be a nuisance.
Very easy for Savage to get away from. He backs off. Tims was eyeing him up, but no real way to go for a play underneath the tier 2. It's far too deep for TNC to push into.
He's checking to see where he goes to the jungle, it seemed like. Yeah, it's...
Dire's structures are fortified.
But Fnatic continuing to pressure this bottom side of the map, trying to pull any attention away from the Lifestealer for now.
Structures are fortified.
And it really has been, 14 minutes in, it feels like maybe TNC didn't quite do as much as they could have hoped for with the advantage they had off the back of the lanes. You know, this SF has now fallen down to less than the net worth of Moon's Lesh. Moon's overtaken Armel, and even the offlaners, right? Ice, he's pretty much up there at the same value as KP after having a miserable start on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, he has an easier way of just getting that natural gold built in because he's a Doom, he has Devour and Scorcher, some of the best farming mechanics, but that dive play in the mid really just set Fnatic back into it. Them trying to dive for that Crystal Maiden, the TP's coming in, Ice got tons of levels from it, and now, yeah, they're able to just set up for these towers because of Moon's rotations with the Edict. That opens up the map for them quite a lot, and it gives them a lot of information to see where TNC is positioned. How's Tim's doing? Okay, Tim's is still pretty far from the Blink Dagger, actually. He's still like 900 gold away. And it will be a treads into Yasha, into just straight up BKB on the Shadow Fiend versus this Lifestealer who can just straight up get on top of you very quickly. And we've seen what's happened with the Lash, just how quickly he can take him out. Ooh.
They try for a smoke, but DJ is just instantly in the neighborhood to dispel it.
Okay.
They prepare themselves for TNC to continue to go for a fight. Savage hops out. Knows that with the TNC smoke being instantly dispelled, it's unlikely TNC are going to try and go aggressive. So resumes farming.
And a bounty rune, look at that, the Dream. Fnatic with a very fast farming lineup, and they also shovel that up. The rage is popped.
I was just a little worried about maybe a Fisher coming out, but yeah. Actually, as it was, Tims wasn't even there. Tims showing down bottom, so...
TNC looks like they're going to halt a little bit of their aggression, as it is pretty hard for them to make moves when Tims isn't there. And now Tims, he's getting gone on. He's a bit tanky though, and there's a reload coming in.
Can Moon get this kill in time? He can't. He will lose his life for it.
Armel missed the long-range raise. He actually got Tims killed there.
And back in mid, TNC, they're not done. They're going to try and go for jabs. The Slug has been doomed as they're leashed up as
He's got heals though.
He is. This Doom doing no damage whatsoever as KP's able to buff him through it. Savage goes for the rage TP.
Doom is... I mean, we did say that the Doom was going to be dealt with pretty well in this game because of the heals that come out and the of the ways to fissure split, and we're seeing that coming into play. TNC.
That makes it very hard for ISS to really go. I mean, it's just never going to feel good dooming heroes like the Slark.
No, I mean, it's always
unless you catch him alone or sort of separated. In these team fights, Slark is just going to turn and he's just going to continue to hit you. Gabby doesn't care about being doomed when his teammates are there to back him up.
Yeah, I think he has to actually go for the Omni Knight in a lot of scenarios. They have the double doom, so that's probably just going to be doom the target that's Grim ulted. But Tim's again.
Moon keeps finding these pickoffs on the Shaker.
Now with the haste, they have some Kuros connecting as well. Moon.
Can he get out of this? He's going to go straight for the TP. Is there TP cancelled in time?
Oh.
It is not.
Off the mark with the pounce there.
It looked like Gabby would have had the chance to line that up perfectly.
Looked like he might, but yep, just maybe some small mistakes this morning, but keeping the game very even for us. We see Tims, he pre-buys his smoke. I imagine that means he has the Blink Dagger finished up any second now. Yeah, about 100 gold, even digs up a bounty rune for himself. And now it's going to be easier for TNC to actually make their own aggressive plays, because besides him, they don't really have anyone else who can actually start the fight. So it has to be Tims and Ice.
That's Duke.
Look at that, playing on the trees.
He's got to hold his breath a little longer. He's not quite ready.
They scan, and Tims is like, what the hell? That's Houdini.
Very, very nice from Mr. Ice. Off he goes.
Beautiful. And that's an important time for him to survive too, because he's now going to have the Blink Dagger, which allows you to always get the positioning to get the double dooms off in this scenario. So that was pretty huge. That was nice. Leave it to Ice. Leave it to our boy Darrow to just do some little quick plays with his feet.
I'll see that again. I mean, just perfectly moving around the edge of the vision as Tims doesn't have a clue. Expects the obvious for him to have gone a little further ahead and to slide into the bigger group of trees, but Ice makes the big brain play.
Moon constantly pushing in those side lanes, trying to get the Edict onto the tower. He's doing a great job of keeping these lanes super far pushed in.
Gabby's on the hunt. Does find DJ. DJ is alone. So Gabby will finally be able to find some sort of a kill the diffuser blade. It's taken him a bit of time to really get in and find these pickoffs because of the way that Fnatic have grouped up. Back on track to getting this extra agi stacks built in TNC. They will reclaim that top outpost just under a minute now before that second round of the XP. And Tims, looking for that play, looking for that setup.
And they've got a lot going for themselves right now. That's why you see them constantly looking around, running around the map, looking for these fights, because they have that Blink Dagger, because they have these BKB finished up on Shadow Fiend, and almost a BKB finished on the Slark too. On top of the Pupil's Gift. So Pupil's Gift is nice also on this Slark, because he's a lot tankier versus this Doom and this Lesh. Right now, they've got a pretty nice positioning here, but Fnatic seems to be pretty aware.
See, makes the jump first, Gabby.
Will they get the good double Doom target?
Charging forward. Savage is going to spot the man in the river. There they are. They're going to go straight away. Look at the Gabby. The Doom's going to be dropped down on the SF. He already got the BKB off, so he's good to continue to try and fight this. KP being focused. The stun will connect, but he gets the GA out in time. They turn straight for Moon. Tims drops down the Echo. They've lost two. Fnatic, they're going to lose Savage as well, as he cannot escape this double kill for Armel. Jabs will be able to TP out, but some great quick plays there. Armel getting the BKB off before the Doom was dropped upon him, so there was no way that Fnatic could really follow up to that on top of the Doom to kill off the SF. He was good to fight. They didn't get KP in time, able to survive, get that GA off, meaning the Fnatic, they just couldn't find the kills that they were hunting for.
And they consciously took that fight. They knew that the positioning was happening. They knew that TNC was walking up, but they didn't set up their abilities properly at all, right? They Grimstroke ulted the Omni, the Doom jumps in and dooms the SF. There just seemed to be some miscoordination coming out there from Fnatic, and TNC, they were just well set up around the fight.
You see it again. Very split off at the start. Instant BKB, ready to go. And sort of once Ice has dropped the Doom at this point, all he can do is run away. Not much more than he can offer.
They just got so split up on Fnatic, and then TNC, they have so much sustain. We've talked about that with that Omni Knight, with that IO. you have to be able to try to get on top of these two and bring them down during this fight. You can't have these fights. You have to kind of end this fight pretty abruptly on the side of Fnatic. If you let these fights persist and drag out, TNC has much better fights like that.
You've got to, yeah, they've got to get KP out of the fight instantly.
Yeah.
If they don't kill him, he's just going to start turning things around.
Now he has a full pipe as well, so that last track, a lot of the damage that Fnatic does have is going to be nullified a bit there. What neutral items did we actually get for both sides? I'm going to bring that up really quick. Okay, so Philosopher's Stone, pretty nice. Good. They didn't get the Essence Ring on the side of TNC, so I think the Fnatic's probably pretty happy that they got that one and not the opposing side. Okay.
Back to waiting for Fnatic to make another bit of a go. Holy Lock is going to be queued up for March. The BKB, as we saw, Gabby, he's very, very strong. Between that BKB and the GA, they really struggle to kill this Slark, so the only answer to that will be getting the Doom out before, but because of the counter plays that TNC have, even that doesn't feel good.
No, they have so much sustain now in the fight, so I'm actually pretty concerned with for Fnatic if they don't get like a godly jump, and the Soulbind doesn't connect, but they do get a nice Doom on the SF. Can they actually protect him from the heals?
The GA's out, the heals as well. They're trying their best to keep Armel safe. He's still alive. The tether's back there. Armel just being walked out of the fight. Can they kill him? They do. They finally bring down Armel. They'll look now over towards March as Fnatic this time do have the damage to bring down that SF. And now KP has been isolated from the entirety of his team. He's running deeper and deeper into the base of Fnatic. He has got a TP, but of course they've got ways to cancel it. They stun him out. KP will fall as well. Fnatic, they were able to do it. They could kill him. There was not enough saves in the tank to keep Armel alive for long enough.
Tims was nowhere in the area for them to actually protect Armel, just a bit too far forward. He just got completely isolated. They even threw every single possible heal on him, but a great Doom coming out. And that Yules from the Lesh, stopping the IO relocate right toward the end there. They actually could go through it. I thought there might be enough sustain, but they weren't able to actually just stay on top of him during all of it.
I mean, it took a lot, but Fnatic did just focus perfectly on the target.
Yeah, he was just a bit too far forward from his team. He has to stay a little bit closer when he does make those aggressive plays forward on the Shadow Fiend. Even though he does have like BKB and stuff like that, there's still Doom. It's always going to be that until you build something like a Linken's if he does opt to go for that route, which I don't think he will.
Oh, another Ice is pushing this lane down bottom. He's trying to stay hidden, but they're well aware that he's still hanging around.
Well, he's going to know there's a ward there. But he will definitely pay with his life as Gabby gets quite a decent amount of stacks here now too. So 9 permanent, and he has 9 for the upcoming next few moments. But yeah, Ice is 100% aware that there's a ward down on that, that Tinker ward that we see.
Oh, there we go, BKB for Moon. So already we've seen Moon be able to position himself very nicely in the fights. He's getting a whole lot of damage out.
He's had a pretty explosive game so far. Like that laning phase was a little bit rough, but he has really brought it back. And he's had some, like I think Cap was the one who was saying on the panel, he's had some like pretty hit or miss games lately. But this one is definitely one of those hits at the moment.
Yeah, it's becoming quite the powerful force here in this game. And he definitely is that damage that they can follow up a Doom. If they get the Doom down before the BKB's out and Moon's just able to stay on top of the enemy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get that kill. Regardless of how much sort of save and heals the TNC have, Moon's damage output is gonna hurt. Queuing up the Bloodstone into the Shiva's Guard.
Yep, get just a little bit tankier. He's now got the Pulse Nova damage talent too. This hero it's very good versus Slark until that Slark does start to get that BKB. You just have a very hard time just committing forward to see how much damage this hero really does do. I mean, he does have it early on, but once those do start ticking away, he does have to be careful versus Last Strike a bit. What do we got? Quickening Charm as well as a Telescope. Pretty decent. I mean, Telescope is always good. This item's always going to be really useful. And also Quickening Charm for Omni is also really nice. He actually does have a decent amount of slots for it.
Oh, they're going over aggressive TNC into the jungle, or at least towards it. They're on Fnatic's half of the river. Fnatic are also just hovering around the Roshan pit, making sure that they can protect and defend this area.
I love watching IO inventories. IO is literally just the I get every neutral item that nobody else wants hero. And he also has a Holy Locket too, which is,
he's got some, yeah,
he's got some change-ups. People are starting to buy this item now finally, at least on IO. Relocate to just split push. Get that bottom lane out. They really want to play around that Roche side right now. They don't want to have to be worried about any type of split push down there. We see them even put their wards around that area, and they're all kind of sitting there too.
I mean, look at the teams at the moment. Is there a team that can take Roshan a little safer? Or is it hard for both of these squads?
TNC takes Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good amount of sustain. They have a tethered Shadow. Shadow Fiend actually does damage. Like the Fnatic lineup hitting Roche is very. I mean, it's weird. Like they have Edict, they have the spells from the Lesh, which are okay, but Lifestealer, it's not the same as an SF and a Slark hitting it with a tether, and they have the sustain coming out on the side of TNC. So if they can get into that pit unnoticed, they can be able to bring it down. But
yeah, maybe once Savage gets his AC done.
Yeah, maybe.
Give that a little bit extra to help them go for it if they find a chance, but ideally Fnatic are going to want to take a fight before they go for that. As Ice gets the jump in. He has found the Slark and the setup's in for the Soulbind. Double Doom. They're moving onto both the Slark and the Omni. Tim's trying off the back of using the vision to split them up with Savage. He's in on the Gabby. The heal comes out of Gabby. He's fine. He's healed back up to half health, and now Gabby jumps towards Savage. He's chasing out the Lifestealer. Armor pops the Requiem, but already Fnatic is a mile away from him, so it won't connect onto anyone. Fnatic are able to disengage. I said that Gabby has got the axe done, so he's pouncing in, jumping forward. They want to keep this fight going. They know that there's no Doom to be dropped anymore by Eyesight Sight, so Gabby can just full commit with the BKB. He's on to Jabs. Jabs is dead, and down towards the bottom. The rest of TNC, they're chasing for more. Gabby's able to pounce in. Moon's popped the BKB. He's got 23 Savage inside him, so has that speed, has that health, with the BKB weighing off from Gabby. Fnatic's trying to turn back onto them. They'll go for KP. The GA's out. Gabby being focused as well as March. The GA's going to wear off. He's still finding all. TJ tries to go for the ult, but the ult set to cancels it immediately. 23 Savage. He's looking for that IO. He's trying to kill off March, and he gets it. March is dead. Gabby just finds TJ. Gabby, he's still going. The stacks, they're building up. A buyback comes into play from DJ. Gabby's onto the ledge, moves out of mana. He's leashed up at Moon. He has the movement speed. He's running. Gabby's going to have pounce again. Gets the connection. Leash in place. Double kill for Gabby. Now godlike.
33 stacks.
As he Gabby wants to keep this fighter going. TJ brought back for this. He's not going to live for long. Maybe with the front, but he can. Gabby, he's got Shadow Knights back. He's going to keep going. Kills another. That's going to be 4 dead on Fnatic. Savage is trying to take me out. He won't make it away. But already an absolute slaughter fest as Gabby just cleans everybody up.
I mean, he just literally holds his ground. Look how many, I don't know, how many times did he get Heavenly Graced in the fight, right? I'm pretty sure KP casted it on him every single time. Even when the Omni's starting to die, he knows what his job is. He's like, with my dying breath, I will make sure that I get the Heavenly Grace off onto my Gabby. So look at this. KP's getting chased. He's like, whatever. As long as I Heavenly Grace Gabby, he's going to be able to stick inside of the fights. And look at these heals coming out. He just gets fully popped up from the mech time and time again inside of this one. And it all starts out because KP, he gets the Heavenly Grace off onto the Slark before the initial Doom earlier in this fight. So that means that because of status resistance, the Doom ticks faster. So Gabby's allowed to actually get into the front lines and be that really obnoxious Slark throughout the entirety of the fight.
Yeah, and Gabby just reading the situation perfectly, knows that he can stay fully aggressive. He sees that, he feels the momentum. Once those stacks start to build up, he knows that there's nothing that Fnatic can do to stop him, just tearing through them one by one. Let's continue to have a flawless performance on his Slark. Yet to die this game, back on mid. Oh, hang on. He's got the Aegis and he's got the BKB. So that's the Aegis gone. See if they can kill him a second time. Armel has to put the BKB. They'll turn him, wasn't they? Have to. Gabby. He needs backup. And he's going to get the backup in time. March comes in with the tether, relocate, takes him back to base, keeps him healed up. It's going to come back here. Well, that is if TNC want to keep this fight going. Yours up, Requiem starts to push away. Fnatic, Savage, still trying to poke at the target. They're going to be bringing the Slark back in soon, and here he is. Gabby has returned, and he's looking for blood. He jumps in, able to catch off Jabs with another massive pounce. And he's up to the high ground. Gabby, he's hunting. He knows that the BKB's already been used by Moon. Shadow Dart's used as the stun connects. Gabby turns towards the tower. Savage, he's trying to fight this. They silence Gabby, but again, the sustain, the heals from March. Gabby is constantly sitting at full HP. The tier 3 towers falling. TNC, they're eyeing up the barracks. As Fnatic, they're only down one member, but the 4 heroes don't seem to be able to do anything to stop this. They're just letting TNC take the barracks.
They don't have their Doom. They don't have their Brimstone ult. Their BKBs on cooldown. On the side of TNC, they still have their big things available. Sure, Requiem is down, Shadow Dance is down, but GA is up and Echo Slam is up, so they know how confident they are. They know how strong they are at the moment going up into this high ground.
Everybody's up now for Fnatic. What can they do? Savage tries to lead in quickly with a disarm, but it just goes off so quickly. That Heavenly Grace keeping Gabby so strong. Another tier 3, a second set of racks in trouble. If Fnatic have anything, they've got to use it now. As the racks are going, there's nothing that they seemingly are able to do. Moves trying to come out the backlines, go for the backliners, but Gabby, he's just straight in. He's under tier 4s. He's on to Jabs. The bash is there. Jabs is dead. They cannot stop the slug. Gabby goes wherever he wants, and he takes whatever he pleases.
There's just way too much backup for this Gabby Slark. He has everything in the world just buffing him up, be it the IO, the Guardian Angel, just so many different aspects making him so much stronger.
Dallas top shrine.
What is it? I mean, I don't want to pull it up, but like the support scores are real rough on the side of Fnatic this game. Both of them sitting 0-7 because of how out of hand this Slark is.
Oh, there goes Gabby again.
It happens as a support.
Oh, poor TJ, the Fisher stops the ultimate. Gabby, he's just going to, he wants to dive. He's going to play it sense, but there's still tier 1s and tier 2s on this lane, so they'll go for the objectives.
Dyer's bottom tower.
He'll jump over the tier 2 and, take a look at that tier 1 for a moment. And oh, look at this. I love it. The bash, and he's got the moon shard queued up.
He's not dying. He's not dying, so the quicker that he can build up the stats and have the chance for the bashes, that's the way to go. Attack speed's all he needs to build.
It gives him some nice night vision, too, Actually, a lot of night vision as they keep buffing what Moonshard gives, of course.
Gabby sweeping over. They are starting to head out Fnatic, but Gabby, he's found Moon. Moon has to put the BKB, the bash in place. Tim's getting on top. The Soulblind in the double dim is there, but Gabby, he does not care. His BKB's already out. He's got the buff up from KP as well with the GA. He's just at full health. They cannot do anything to harm this slug as Moon will fall dead for the 90 seconds without buyback. Ice trying to take Savage back to safety, but another bounce from Gabby up to the high ground. Ice will fall. Gabby beyond godlike, and he's not done yet. Jax is dead. DG is called. They want to get themselves the hell away from this slug as TNC take game 1. The slug draft far too strong for Fnatic to deal with. This slug with that amount of sustain and save, Gabby was set up for success, and he made the most of it. He made it look easy. It wasn't necessarily, but his aggression
Fnatic's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban.
And Fnatic head-to-head elimination on the line. TNC's already won a game up, and we're going to find out if Fnatic can pull themselves together and force out that third game, which they have been able to do time and time again in the past. So we'll see. We're in the draft. I'm here with Kezu. I'm here with Cap. I'm here with Grant.
Hello.
And we're ready to talk some Dota 2.
Yeah, and I think Kezu actually during the break said it best, like, don't give him a free IO game and not have first pick. And you already see, guess what? TNC, do they have first pick?
No.
Fnatic have it.
And IO. Okay, simple as that.
Fnatic, meanwhile, they also take away the, there's something that always stands out to me about KP is that he is so good at solo offlane.
Yeah.
In the dual lane meta, you do have to give him a bit of a head start sometimes, unless they're drafting something like they drafted Enigma a couple times, and maybe not this tournament, but the previous one. Or they'll do something like draft Underlord, and then they'll have the Earthshaker like cut like 1 or 2 creep waves or something. But once you get him to a point where he's comfortable soloing, he plays the off lane very well. He doesn't really feed away too much. He plays to his advantage. He makes sure he always gets farm. And I think that a hero like Omni Knight in this patch, one of the premier solo offlaners, a hero that you can leave alone very early, is just perfect.
One of his best too. Yeah.
Don't give that to them.
No, certainly. I think he really excels at soloing. I think it's the same with 3-3 on Alliance.
Yeah.
He's really, I think he's one of the best guys when it comes to like creep manipulating and, creep aggroing, all this stuff. So they're definitely doing well about that. I think here, if you're Fnatic, you need to watch out because Naga Disruptor's in the pool. So either you take the Disruptor on the first pick if it doesn't get banned, or you already need to pick towards it. So you could pick Vengeful Spirit here, for example, to, already pick beforehand because they're most likely going to go for this Naga Disruptor on TNC.
Yeah, Enchantress was banned the first game, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Interesting. That's one of those heroes, like it showed up like day 1, like a couple times, then day 2 even more, and now it's just almost been first banned every single game. And yep, there's the Disruptor. So unless you're thinking of taking the Naga here yourselves, they got a pretty good combo.
I think the first pick options that made the most sense for Fnatic here were Disruptor or Venge. Yeah. And now I think TNC, they need to take Venge. Like, either way, it's one of the best heroes in the game against Disruptor to counter this combo. I think in their head, they must be aware that there's a Naga pick coming on 10 for Fnatic. Yeah. So, unless you're taking it yourself, which I think doesn't make the most sense on 8-9 without Disruptor, so you should just pick heroes that make sense and already protect you against the 10 Naga.
At the same time, TNC is one of those teams that plays Naga in different locations.
That is true.
So they might consider it regardless. They go for the Enchantress.
They play it often.
Yeah, they
KP, right?
Yeah. I gotta say, it's so weird seeing KP in like a dark colored jersey. I'm so used to seeing the blue on him, and I'm just like,
right?
That looks so different. Is that KP? Are we sure? I don't know. It's been so long.
I agree. It's just in my
while.
It's like seeing Ramses with a different hair color than blue.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do have the same with all the Enigma boys in the blue shirt.
Yes.
And light blue because they used to be, white and dark blue.
Wow.
Different opening there. Legion Commander. I still have heard people not being too happy about the Legion. Have we changed our minds yet, or are we still considering her poop?
I think Legion is still kind of a hard hero, I think, to make work right now. There's so much AoE stuff. There's also saves. There's ODs and Wyverns, which is kind of hard for you to play into. I don't really see why Fnatic wouldn't pick Naga here. I guess one of the reasons that they did pick the Legion is because it's okay against Naga. I wouldn't say it's great, but like I said, I kind of feel like this is a no-brainer as long as they play the hero.
I really want to talk to one of these offlaners on a team that's picking Legion Commander so much, because all the offlaners I know are like, Legion Commander, like, at best they go, meh. at worst they're like, oh god, you know, it's just it's not a feel good offlaner, and so for me it makes it sound like this is a team decision in some ways, that the captain is the drafter is saying like we want to be able to have somebody who gives initiation and provides a save, but
well, there's the Venge, but it's on the same team as it is.
Yeah.
Like we're swapping them back into the kinetic field.
So if you're TNC, you just ban out Naga, surely, right? Do they have pick into ban here?
Yeah, TNC gets the first pick out of that.
Fnatic.
I think he banned Draw.
TNC have it.
Yeah. You definitely ban Draw, I think, versus Disruptor Vengeful. And I will say, TNC kind of, I mean, it's definitely not the same opening as last game, but they picked two heroes who can sustain, right? You have Legion Commander with the W, Enchantress with the heal, same as IO Omni. They just really like that sustain.
True.
I want to see how TNC continue their draft, because I think this Eng Legion is it's a little bit odd. I also think mostly you pick Eng with an open hero or like a 4 position so that your Eng can go offlane.
Now you know it's smart, right?
Like now you know it's, I mean, it's a support or maybe it's mid, you don't know. But most likely I think it's free to assume that it will be in the support role. So, and they're going to need a lot from the draft, because right now they're very single target here with Legion Eng. They have one lockdown, but not too much team fight out of these two heroes.
Disruptor Venge. Is there any chance Venge is a core seen it in this patch, right?
Not
at all.
That's a core.
We have seen it. I remember you guys made fun of it and I said Thompson played it, and then Slug brought it out.
I mean, it worked out.
That was crazy.
That was a crazy game indeed.
Anything can work.
Actually,
That's the way of Dota 2.
It is.
Is Puck still out there, by the way? He is.
Puck is still out there. He was ignored previous game as well.
Gender it identifies as.
I definitely don't see Moon playing a Disruptor middle. That is
They
not
should
his
consider a TA ban here, I think, because Fnatic have the last pick of the next phase. They also have Venge. It's also fairly decent, at least in the mid game against Legion. Usually TA hits a very good timing, so when the TA does, when the Legion does go in and commit himself, he just kind of pops, especially with the saves and the minus armor that Fnatic do have to play with.
First ban the Drow. So Slark, PL are gone. Drow is gone. Get rid of all the
still in the
super meta
pool.
ones. Morphling is in the pool. Always gotta be careful.
So is P. No, never mind.
PA is.
No, yeah, PA is, sure. We've also seen Fnatic being a fan of Medusa, but they are kind of like the only team playing it at the moment. And they ban out Isis Timber, which we've talked about several times.
Deals with Legion and Enchantress pretty well. But maybe they leave the TA out. Maybe they think they have an answer. I think Medusa does okay against TA, right?
I think so. I think both just farm. And but in the game, it's pretty good for the Medusa, yeah.
Yeah, and they could try and do like an Ember Spirit build or something like that.
They left the Naga in as well. I'm confused about that one. Because...
And it almost seems like they're daring that.
Yeah.
You know?
It seems like it. But at the same time, it's still Naga.
It's weirder to me because I thought Enchantress actually pressures Naga decently. High armor hero, so pure damage is quite nicely. But then they've locked in this Legion Commander, so you're like, oh, well, it can't be a 3 Enchantress.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. At the same time, Fnatic actually this entire tournament has not played a Naga Siren. On none of the positions.
I guess maybe that's
Actually, never mind. I lied. They played it in the first game. They did win that one.
Gotcha.
23 Savage. Don't worry. I corrected myself before you said I was wrong.
Don't worry. I didn't know either. You're good. Man, look at this sustain. My God.
Yeah. I mean, we talked to Puppy yesterday. He's like, this is all about fighting. And PNC translated that as, okay, so we need to survive fights.
Let's just,
I thought Fnatic was like Clockwork was an option if they gave up the Disruptor Naga Siren.
Yeah.
You know, because they like that hook shot against the song to be able to catch her. Yeah. But like, why Clock? Like Wyvern, Legion Commander, like those heroes, I don't feel good about Clock.
But they probably, I assume they like the Clock against the Legion and the Ensure the most. It's okay against Wyvern. I wouldn't say it's great. I mean, you can find him maybe when he, ends up defending these towers. But I think it's an okay pick overall. Perhaps they're thinking about, safe lane, tri-laning to secure one of the hard carries that they may pick here with the Venge. And then Clock can kind of, he can sustain himself in the off lane, block his wave with cogs. Other than that, I don't see much more reason for the pick.
Yeah, good old Abaddon just fell off the off-lane pool by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Omni still being picked up, Legion Commander still being grabbed.
First,
I thought it went Omni Knight, clearly favorite. And then I thought Abaddon was second, Legion Commander was the third down when it comes to the save off-laners, but...
I guess Abaddon doesn't have that AoE nuke, which is why we go for a Legion. I don't know. Over Abaddon. We'll find out. Naga Siren.
They do take it.
They do take it, whether there's Avenge or Clockwork.
TNC was one of the best Naga Sirens of this year. They came onto the scene looking really good. They would do that thing where they would cut the behind the tier 1. They would cut from the safe lane and they would cut behind like the tier 2 pull creep up into the triangle and then farm neutrals at the same time. So Fnatic, like, they do have the Clockwork, so you want heroes that can aggressively hunt that and punish that action.
And they still have the flexibility of putting it offline. So last pick is going to be going the way of TNC, and they can throw curveball with it if they want. Well, because I guess we are going to see KP on the Legion Commander. There's not really any other position to play her at, right?
I would say like 99%, but I have seen many armlet carry Legion in high MMR pubs.
Oh,
I'm sure you've seen one or two of those.
Not many.
Not many.
Leshrac? Yeah, I think he's strong here. I think you could pair Leshrac with a carry. I'm kind of looking at the carry pool. I think the carry pick is pretty hard. I think the mid pick is a lot easier in terms of carries. I was kind of thinking Terrorblade, even though he's also hard to play here. So I think most likely what will make sense here is that they pick Lesh for mid. It's still an open hero that deals magic damage.
For Fnatic, right?
Yeah, this one.
And there it is.
Because we said it didn't really work out for him last time. How is he going to be able to
he's got to
step it up? Because he's gonna get counterpicked. Like the last pick for TNC, most likely he's gonna be for Armel.
It's because like it's good versus Naga Siren, it's good versus Wyvern, it's good versus Enchantress, and you can be effective versus Legion Commander. Like Legion feels awkward about dueling somebody else because Leshrac comes in with so much damage. So it's like it's too good of a pick to ignore at this point in the draft.
Okay. Well, we got a Lifestealer banned out last for TNC.
Not letting him get it again.
What else has 23 Savage played in the
23 Savage. I mean, we're gonna imagine that he is. 23 Savage played Naga, Medusa, Phantom Lancer, Anti-Mage, Gyrocopter, and Morphling. And then previous game, the Lifestealer. Oh. That's got banned. Does that tell us anything else? Anything new?
Nothing too crazy, I think. I guess they're just protecting their Leshrac. I feel like here, I mean, Morph that's okay. I don't know how against Naga.
Out of all the heroes you said, Morph sounds the best, unless he's playing a new hero.
I would kind of vote for Morph or Terrorblade, but I'm not sure what he aims.
Medusa.
They do it. I mean, you've got to save now with the Venge this time. You match up decently against these heroes. Yeah, not terrible.
It's Naga Siren that's going to build the Fusa Blade, so they already have like a small answer to it. It's not amazing.
But you do have to get on top of that Medusa. And with your other three heroes, like, you don't really get on top of heroes that well unless you Winter Wyvern's Curse, but then you have the Venge behind. They do TA.
TA coming
talked about the matchup earlier. Here it is.
Well, for 23 Savage Medusa, he has a 1-1 record so far, but the game that they lost, they actually probably should have won. It was like almost 17 minutes.
That's a long one. So, against the PL, yeah.
So I would imagine that he's quite, I think that Fnatic is setting themselves up for a way better game than previous game. I hope so.
I would agree. I think TNC is going to play this game super quickly, and it's going to be, once again, it's just going to be hard to kill these heroes. They have so many heroes that just sit behind you and have a ton of save.
I'm a little afraid for Fnatic. I'm not quite sure. I think this TA pick is pretty strong. It's going to help them with Roche. I'm a bit afraid for the lanes that they have. TA, I think, is going to be good mid. I think Ench Legion, they're going to pressure top, at least if the Medusa is laning there, which I think might be the case.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that deal is, right? Can they run Lesh into TA, or I guess we'll have to see.
We will have to see indeed, because it is time to head into the second game. TNC Fnatic coming your way with Odie Pixel and Fogged.
I saw that ending from miles away.
Prepare for battle. Try harder.
Don't resist the cobra, little bird.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 of TNC versus Fnatic. I'm Pixel here with Fogged. Fogged, we've got that Medusa coming in for 23 Savage. How'd you like it? Something that not a lot of other teams are willing to play around with, but Fnatic, they definitely see some power in the hero.
Definitely not crazy about the hero overall, but we'll get and see how they're actually able to run it, as they're looking for being like a kind of like this greedy type of draft, it seems, and they have like this super carry as the late game, right? That's what they're kind of ensuring on, is that he can get this farm, maybe get space from his other heroes, and he has Avenge to buff him up, to protect him as well. But definitely looking at the side of TNC and favoring them a bit more in the lanes. Their lanes look really strong in comparison. I think they can even pressure the Medusa quite a lot. I'm interested to see what March is going to do as this Enchantress. And I think the mid matchup overall, we've seen this one actually quite a lot, this TA versus Lesh. The Lesh actually can do pretty well, like up to like level 3, it seems. Like you do okay, and then TA just takes over the lane. For the most part, I have seen like these very, very rare games where the Lesh player is actually able to kill the TA at like the first 2 levels or something like that, and the lane actually becomes a little weird because of rotations. But as for the norm, that we should see that TA overall win that lane matchup.
Because the thing is as well, this game, as it goes on, I feel like, isn't there always just going to be this play where they can just set up on the Medusa with a curse, in goes the Naga Sign and an army with the diffuser blade, all the mana's gone. And what you sort of have for that, it's all about the swap plays, right? At least you've got that Venge to try and separate her, but that's hard to do when you're getting in and the curse is already out in play. There's definitely plays that TNC are going to have that's going to make the life of Savage pretty hard, even at the later points when he may have a lot of items on this hero.
Yeah, I think the lane also is probably going to be pretty difficult. I mean, KP can actually do quite a lot up here just running at the Medusa, because Medusa's laning is just, I don't know, it's weird. The hero overall is just, you're so squishy. And you have Avenge as your support, who is a little bit of a weird one too. She's not really the greatest support in the lane. She has your Wave of Terror, but you don't really contribute that much to actually ensure your Medusa to have a good start. So this lane looks like it should be good. Mid should be good as well for TNC, and bottom, I mean, they've got a Naga Siren versus a Clockwork. So I think Clockwork struggles quite a lot to pressure Naga Siren, because if you pop your Battery Assault, she just pops Illusions, and your Battery Assault's not going to do as much.
Yeah, well, what do you think the thought process was behind the clock pick this game? What do you think Fnatic was sort of seeing as sort of a good hero to play it against down the line?
When did they pick it? They picked it 3rd, and they had only seen Enchant, Legion. Was that it?
I think so, right?
I think that might have been it. So isolating those targets is pretty strong.
Okay.
And I think that they're just starting to like the hero a little bit more, but yeah, just a little bit. It's just kind of a Clockwork, you know. It's just.
Ending from miles away.
And we're seeing all 3 lanes already. TNC off to a great start. And ooh, a nice creep by nice creep little picked up there by March. It looked like the creep that will just die actually, and he doesn't use the heal. That's okay. He's just farming the pole camp. And it's not like Gabby's getting pressured anyway, so Gabby's just able to farm just fine.
So to be said for Savage then. He's able to get over and mess around with this pull.
He's been doing a really good job last hitting up there for sure. They're doing great with the Venge, with the Wave of Terrors. Dabs.
I'm just going to turn it. The Wave of Terror. KP's going to take quite a bit of a right click from the 2 of them. Snake's going to be out. He'll pop the salve.
It's actually forced to salve in that type of lane. That's a bit surprising to see the Legion's actually getting pressured that much up there. Oh, even a Clockwork rocket flies across the map to try to maybe get involved and try to go for a kill there. I like that Ice is doing the rocket build though, rather than go for Battery Assault build. As we said before, Battery Assault versus Naga Siren pretty much does nothing. This will at least ensure that he can guarantee range creeps and even harass other lanes, as we see him actually doing quite a lot. Sending it up toward the top lane. He almost actually breaks KP.
I was going to say, breaking any sort of southward clarity is also going to be highly annoying for TNC if ISIS does land those.
Yeah, and we saw Armiel. Armiel has fully taken over the lane. Even at the start, the first 2 levels actually still went in TA favors anyway in this lane.
Are there any sort of movements either the team supports could make early on to set something up for their mid laners?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he has the Edict build. In particular, they could definitely look to isolate and make a play. Maybe an early rotation from a Clockwork come out. Maybe from the Venge in case, maybe it's just like a rune check. That's probably like the one case where they will try to go for that rune.
He's trying to step in aggressively, but the backup's here from Tims. Tims and Armel could just take down Moon. That will be a first blood for Armel. Jabs is trying to get over towards Armel, but Armel is way too far away. As Moon, stepping forward, trying to fight around for that top rune spawn, was not prepared for the Wyvern to be there to back Armel up.
Has to have his supports there a little bit earlier to try to go for those rune contestants. TNC just a little bit faster than them on that setup. But Savage, like you said, he's still farming really well up top. I thought he'd get pressured just a tiny bit more from that Legion plus that Wyvern, but yeah, he's doing a great job.
I think it's just that the combo between him and the Venge allows them to trade really nicely with the Legion from at range, so he's not necessarily getting those procs off you and able to sort of harass you back. You're constantly able to keep the distance.
Moon pushing in that wave with the Edict. We do see DJ, he's starting to make a room around 2, and you see when the Edict get popped, Armel just no risk. He backs completely out of the creep wave just in case, because if he gets caught by a stun, the creep wave dies, he's at risk of dying. Same thing will always happen. When Last Strike does hit 6, it's very easy ways to set up kills on the TA with any type of rotation.
Yeah, and we see Tims be very good about this point of the game. 5 minutes in, especially against Fnatic, he knows that he has to hang around the mid, make sure that Armel is not left alone.
Absolutely. And he knows that he can leave KP now top 2, right? Like, KP shouldn't be at risk of dying versus a Medusa Venge. He should be able to get a decent amount up there as the kill threat is quite low. More emphasis on mid. Tornado creep. Won't get stunned up. It doesn't last the longest anymore either. With that level 1 enchant, it's quite low, so it doesn't actually last the full tornado duration anyway.
What will be the build for the offlane Legion this game? Is he getting anything like the Vlads for the team, the Auras, or do they need to have someone go for that blink? Is he? I mean, I guess he is going to be the main initiation, right?
He will be, but I think this could be a game where he just goes pipe. He's versus Lash. They have Naga Siren. Might just make sense unless he starts to like Snow and KP. He's juking around a bit here, but they will eventually be able to dive him under the tower. Tims, can he respond at all? Just some harassment.
That doesn't quite get the Splinter Blast to connect onto Jabs. So.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen the Legions even do that pipe build anymore as much, have we?
No, it's sort of
kind of fallen out for a while, but
yeah.
I feel like in this game it makes sense when you have a Naga versus a Lash. Unless he wants to just be, go for his own type of build, maybe he'd be a little bit more greedy and selfish, but I don't think KP is that type of player for the most part. He's usually a pretty selfless guy in that offlane.
Yeah, build for Savage, the standard farming, Mask of Manish, Asher Butterfly. It's going to be the road he's going to go down. It's just a question of whether TNC is going to give him the time and space to get away with it. And if they do, he is going to farm very, very quickly in his jungle.
They don't have these like godly rotation heroes to actually go into the jungle and actually disrupt the Medusa though. You look at TNC drop, they have an Enchantress and a Wyvern. Like these heroes, it's not like a Tiny and something like that just like, goes and hunts inside the jungle constantly. They're unorthodox. The Wyvern more normal, but the Enchantress 5 is something we've only been seeing a couple times now.
Yeah, they definitely have a draft that's sort of willing to play it slow. Just as much as Fnatic is. There's Gabby. Taking a fair bit of harassment, still got tangos to work with. Ice doing a good job of being able to push Gabby away.
Is he gonna be able to kill him here?
Oh, he's gonna get him! Gabby solo died pretty much. I mean, shot away with Terror's running. That didn't matter. He had that on his own.
And that's why you pick Clockwork for Ice. Because he wanted to play it, and why not? Because he's got the level 2 rocket build, which kills the illusions really quick.
Yeah.
And he can get on top of him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to be dying as a Naga alone against the clock, do you?
I don't think I'd ever feel like I'd see something like that. That's pretty crazy, yeah.
Ice is going to be very happy with himself there. Level 6 is hit, hookshot's ready, he can go for moves around the map. Top lane Savage.
The supports by TNC?
Damn.
Look at that gold they get too. March is rich.
Somehow,
is that them yelling or what's going on over there?
They are getting pretty noisy over there. It's beautiful to hit. TNC and Fnatic, they're loving it. I mean, both teams' carries just died in sort of positions where you do not expect them to die.
Yeah,
ISI Solo killing Gabby, and then up top, the support's killing Savage. It's getting a bit crazy.
I mean, these teams, like we said, they know each other so damn well. They played with each other. It's going to be a really fun matchup.
Oh,
Moon. C6.
He's just going to run Tim's down. Tim's just
he's 8, but
destroyed by this Leshrac, and in the jungle, well, in the trees. Gabby's hiding. He's going to reveal himself. Start to poke and jabs.
Moon's still here. He actually sends an illusion up north. That's a fake one. And
now the illusion's gone. ISI can get on top of Gabby. Gabby is in trouble again. He's trapped in. The batteries are killing him off. Gabby, one more hit will do it. And ISI, he's in and he's got it.
All right. I can't say I expected this Clockwork to be able to set up these type of kills down bottom, but I am happily proven wrong. As Moon with a early rotation, level 8, makes his way down bottom.
Not your everyday sort of Naga silent lane counter, but the Ice, he's showing Gabby up in that bottom lane. He's playing this clock perfectly, and there's just no help coming in for Gabby. That's 2 times in a row that he's died on the safe lane. And Ice, he's getting that sort of start where, sure, we see some clocks falter at the beginning and then have a pretty weak impact. But if you do get these early levels, you become very scary.
And he can constantly move around the map with that Leshrac and look to set up kills. Because the one thing we didn't really talk about is like how good the Lesh really is in this game. He's versus the Naga Siren, which is fantastic. He's versus TA, which is good until, of course, the BKB does come out. And he's versus Wyvern and Enchantress. All 4 of these heroes are susceptible to getting run down by Pulse Nova and that Edict in the early stages of the game.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Of course, while all this action's been going on the side lanes, Armel has been making the most of the space that he's at. Top of the net worth, and the Desolator very close to being completed. Only 400 gold away at 10 minutes in. It's going to be a ridiculously fast SO.
And they have really good ways to be able to go to Roche. They have not only the TA, but they have the Cold Embrace that can come out from the Wyvern, and they have a Naga. They can send the Naga and just get a Riptide proc or something like that onto that Roche for the more minus armor, if they choose to do so in some point.
Managed on the hunt, and Ice, he's got the catch. Straight over the hook shot, KP is found. And Ice making those moves that you'd expect to see with the start that he's had. He's going to be all over the map.
Just be aggressive. You look at the lineup, and their heroes just naturally from, with the spells that they have, can play much more aggressive on the map than the side of TNC. TNC's draft is actually extremely passive. They don't have any of these easy type of stuns or lockdown. Look at Fnatic. They have Venge stun, they have a glimpse, they have a static stun, Lesh rotating around with the Clockwork. TNCs are just a lot weaker to actually do so. There's not anyone you can pair up. It's not like Legion +1 and can go easily set up a kill. If Legion wants a +1 to set up for a kill with him, it has to be the TA.
Yeah.
Legion plus Enchantress, that doesn't sound like Legion plus Wyvern. These are not kill combos. So much easier for TNC to really make moves around the map, and they just kind of have to play it as a farm on the TA until she's online, so she can be the one to actually help out with those ganks.
Oh, up top, Gabby. He's going to put the song. TP's out. Ice was around and was on the hunt.
He really has Gabby's number.
That's making sure that Gabby has very little freedom to find the farm. Gabby's doing a great job, though, against the pressure. Still very much up there, keeping himself close to Savage. Savage with a slight lead in farm, but not by much.
I just don't know how TNC pressures the Medusa is the one concern. Fnatic, I feel like they can look and just constantly hunt and send their heroes to go find this Naga Siren, but TNC, I feel like it's going to be really difficult for them to actually get into that side of the map and look for a Medusa. So this Medusa, I feel like 23 Savage is going to free farm pretty heavily.
I mean, they may be looking for some action on mid. They've got the wraparound coming in for Fnatic. Ice. Who's he going to go for? Straight away with a hook shot. He's able to isolate the TA. The TA in trouble as DJ locks down the kinetic and static storm. He'll get the refraction off in time of the Thunderstrike's taking it off, and Armel is dead. Ice. His clock going to be some of the best clock we've seen in quite some time. as he is making play after play, and now he's getting the big catch. Arma, he was the one that was sort of running away with the farm. Ice finds him perfectly with that wraparound, and this clock just continues to be a huge nuisance for TNC.
Yeah, and now they can get into the invasion plays themselves, because like I've been saying, I mean, Fnatic's draft just can actually play aggressive. TNC's is just full passiveness. I'm pretty concerned, like I just don't know how they make plays. Like TA has to have Blink and Desolator, and then they have to have the Legion setting up for kills with that afterwards. But it's gonna be a long time for these type of plays to be able to happen, and Fnatic's just gonna keep looking around, looking for plays.
Oh. TP coming in for backup for KP, but
he needs the TA, like we said. It's awkward. He needs to have another core hero with him to try to set up for these duels.
And this is time that Armel's sort of sitting around and we'll have to go share stuff with the Crucis. That Blink Dagger timing is so important. He can't allow that to be slowed down. Back in the river, Jax. Steve set up, swap back into Moon's Jules combo. As March will fall, another grab for Fnatic.
You're a disgrace.
And these kills Moon going towards the boost of travel so he can just continue to play aggressive all over the map, ready to team up with Ice. Or any sort of setup which a lot of his team can offer. That Ven, Disruptor, Clock, they're all heroes that fit perfectly into that requirement of just setting up for that time for Lesh to TP in and get the kill done.
You go again, you have to bring the TA in the smokes with Legion, like we're saying. She's the damage that'll provide for the duel, otherwise you probably won't be able to kill the targets. Will DJ be the one? And they actually catch up to him with the trap. He glimpses away AP. That's the catch. He's safe.
The can't anyone. They just simply walk away. Fnatic. TNC. He's trying to get the grab and stop playing. It's not Ice and Moon. They find themselves another.
TNC is going to have to find some way, like some different type of style to play the game, because I'm really just stuck on the point that I don't know how they can actually just make plays. The team fights are also still very difficult too, because I think Fnatic has them outdrafted in the team fights and the ganking too. But it's really going to be like what they can do against this farm up. Like, will the Naka and that TA be able to just have that greater farm potential overall to deal with the Medusa, to deal with that flash track once they get their BK, well, at least the BKB on TA. I mean, we're going to have to find out, but it's really looking like the plays will continue to be limited on the side of TNC for the next, I don't know, 10 plus minutes. It really does feel like.
Dire structures are fortified.
I mean, the farm obviously is still good for TNC. The gold is even, and as I said, I feel like the later this goes, their late game is still very powerful. Sure, Fnatic have that big scary Medusa down the line, but the Naga-san and the Wyvern comments, they definitely have answers to that hero later on.
And maybe the response is we don't care about these kills, right? Maybe that's what they're thinking in their head is. We don't have the draft to gank, so you know what? We're not going to play that type of stuff at all. We're just going to sit back, farm, let Fnatic come at us, and eventually have a very hard scaling lineup.
No March. If Ice has got the down zone, there's an outpost, so backup can TP in if Ice feels he cannot go this alone already. TP's coming in March. Then he realizes he's in the wrong neighborhood. As Ice simply walks up, traps him in with the cogs, and a third death in the row for the Enchantress. As March, I guess at the least, he's just trying his best to make space for his cause, and it is working. Gabby able to continue to farm up the map pretty safely, but it's giving a fair bit up to Ice and Moon. These two playmakers getting kill after kill.
There's no playmaking. I just keep reiterating myself. But yeah, the TNC, they just don't have these heroes that can playmake. So like you said, like they're still farming well. So I think they just have to be content playing on their side of the map and just let Fnatic come to them and maybe hope Fnatic makes some mistakes so that you can actually get some type of kills in return. Yeah, Savage. 200 last hits. Pretty much has the butterfly finished up.
Mid lane. See with the smoke if they can find something. They get the jump in, the disruptor before, but now Ice prepared with the counter play. Goes straight in with a hook shot onto Armel. Savage has turned up also. Tims will use the Winter's Curse to hop the Medusa back, but Moon, the Yours combo is there again, setting up perfectly onto the TA. Armel's refraction will not save him, as they lose a disruptor, but they take a TA. The aggressive smoke maneuver from TNC does not pay off. The mid-one tower getting denied as well by Savage.
Moon off to a very hot start in this game. He's just looking to move around and set that tempo. Pretty much all of his heroes just look to keep setting these moves. We do see the TA though, she still hits really hard. That last strike did get hit very hard by that melt strike, but just limited moves. They tried to make an aggressive move there. They killed DJ, but then quick responses from Fnatic.
Nice hook shot. Ready to pop once more. He's on the prowl. Seeing who we can hunt down. The Naga Siren close by.
They've got wards to protect the Naga Siren this time around, though. Gabby, a little bit safer. What items do we actually have on? One second, let me take a chance section. So it does have, okay, triple Wraith Band Manta is finished up with the Quelling Blade. I did see that they did get the Nether Shawl in this game. So I was wondering if they actually maybe passed that one over to Gabby, because the Nether Shawl on this Naga Siren hero versus Electric, it is pretty damn strong. That magic resistance will be pretty nice, but for now, he wants to just have his maximizing jungle items with those Wraith Bands, that Quelling Blade. But maybe when he looks to start involved in the fights, if he does have a slot, maybe. Full butterfly.
Because these timings for Savage, this is paradigm at this point of the game, especially those neutral items, the info on the pupils. Yes, Savage, he's very good to go. You know, he, unlike Gabby, does not have to just focus on hitting the creeps. He can turn up to the fights, and he hurts. She's hiding and holding onto that tower. Ice. If he gets wind of him, you know he's going to dive behind.
I think Fnatic can actually just start grouping up around the Medusa.
Yeah, he's strong enough to go.
He is strong enough for them to actually just bring the fights to TNC. Maybe force out these two towers and then maybe look for Roche eventually. But right now, I think they're just going to force high ground.
Yeah, this Deuce is absolutely fighting fit. It's not something you used to say at a 20-minute mark. But as this game has gone, Savage, he's ready to present himself on the aggressive.
And he's got the Pupil's Gift. I mean, this might be the most valuable agility hero to get a Pupil's Gift, as it gives you strength and intelligence, which also gives you more health.
They do have the Fusel Blade done now in Gabby. Okay. So the all-important item that's going to help them cut through the Medusa if they get on top of her. So obviously, as we said, there is the save potential with swap to separate from that setup.
And force everybody back on the side of Fnatic. But yeah, there is always going to be that swap, so we're definitely going to be watching Jabs' positioning
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Versus that Winter Curse, because like you said, the combo is going to be that big one. If they curse, if they can get the illusions to burn people's mana down, especially that Medusa, that'll be that big combo. And he is going to be going, the Vlad's into the hood, Vlad's pipe build on that Legion Commander. As we kind of expected, he is that utility, and just ensuring that his EA, as well as in particular Naga Siren, just are off to a good start.
Mel's really got to get that BK done before they look for action again. Tim, he's got to get the big items, queuing up the Orchid this game.
Okay. We've seen that before a couple times. But he did go for the GPM talent. So you don't actually have that damage provided with your Winter's Curse kind of combo that we have seen players do, but...
Fnatic just keeping TNC pressured on their half of the map, making it very hard for TNC to get out. And the last few times the TNC have been able to do so with the smokes, it hasn't ended up in any sort of success for TNC. And I think they've just shot them down each time they've looked to make a move.
Again, as soon as they get an opportunity, they all start grouping up on them, start pushing that again to maybe force some reaction out of TNC, force heroes back. Yep, that's what they're going to do. Starting to go high ground, bring some heroes back. This tier 3.
I mean, they're taking it.
Getting chunked.
It does so much damage.
Look at that, plus 141. They have the Alpha Wolf is all finished up, I think. What, Jabs has a Dominator, I believe? They're just, oh my god.
He's down. And first the Legion probably is KP's trying to run the wave of terror. Hot shot from us. It's the target. They get the curve out onto Moon. He's falling low and he gets burst. Still off Moon. So outbound a member of Fnatic. They're still feeling strong enough to stand the ground. Savage, he has got the Stone Gaze to rely on if he feels it's necessary. Gabby steps in. Stone Gaze will be popped by Savage. So to try and counter that.
Very low on mana here.
But do they have the damage to kill him?
Doesn't feel like it at the moment.
He's just hitting the rocks.
He's got Butterfly, like we were mentioning.
He's trying to go in now. They're onto the Medusa. He's falling low. The Static Soul there. Stepping up the trap. Savage stashes ready. Hits back. Finally, they kill the Medusa. They lose Gabby in a time. DJ going for the TP out, he'll make it away. But Fnatic overall, they lose 4 heroes' lives in that attempt to try and break the high ground. Didn't get the racks at the end of the day.
It felt a little bold. They actually just held their ground there after she was completely out of mana. They didn't have a way to save either. That was a bit cocky by them, sitting on the high ground, but
they went fully in.
Yeah, after seeing how much damage that the Medusa was able to do, they felt confident in. But now they lost.
They lose blood off the back of that. And it's going to be 7 seconds before Ice is back. That's got a hook shot. So if he TP's over, he should have time to make a hook shot play, but he's got a TP instantly. Do exactly that. Here we go. Heads over to the shrine. They've got the wave of Terror Vision. They're ready to try and start something. Jack. But I'm out. High ground. TJ's already been taken out immediately. TJ buys back. He's got to get involved. Much in trouble in the middle. There's Moon and Jab run down the edge. Moon, and they get the kill. And Tim's, he's gone as well. Magic Mist followed up by the stun. Fnatic killing off TNC around the pit.
They wanted to try to take that fight because the Medusa was dead, so try to take the fight before she does respawn, but even with that, they weren't able to get on top of the heroes properly. And now, Fnatic's in the pit, and they've got Avenge plus a Medusa. There's gonna have to be buybacks.
They can't let this one go.
No.
But all these buybacks, they could be scared at the same time. Of course, the Legion's buyback still on cooldown to that last defense down bottom.
Which creep did he get this time? Okay, a Centaur creep for Jabs this time, but man, we really saw how much that Alpha Wolf plus Medusa really was starting to do because of how farmed she was.
Nice. Hook shot ready.
Loaded to the gills.
It looked like they were trying to call it a fight mid.
Fnatic's hunting is sort of there at the back because TNC's been able to see back in Roshan.
They've got a Centaur creep, but it's set, taken away their march.
But now he's got to start moving back over immediately because this Roche is falling fast. They've got to get in the pit soon if they want to have any sort of chance to go for Ice. He's in, but already TNC, they get the kill. They get the Aegis. Gabby goes for the song. They're trying to look for the disengage to make sure they can protect that newly found edge, and they will do so. Gabby gets out. Fnatic just weren't able to make the jump in time. TNC get away with everything from the Roshan bit.
Nice heads-up play there by them, being able to just get in there. Unexpected there, Fnatic just were trying to, it looked like they were trying to force a fight in the middle lane on a couple heroes while Moon was pushing bottom to maybe sneak some type of like Rax play with the last strike. But they get caught with their pants down. TNC take advantage of that.
Very nice find, as is always when you have a bend on your side to carry the benefits so from that boosted range. Picked up for Fnatic, so Savage is going to be able to hit people from a mile off.
I feel like I see telescope every game when there's ranged heroes. Every time it's like melee heroes, there's no telescope. When there's a ranged hero, though, ranged carries, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, good luck trying to walk away from the Medusa. Fnatic can get Savage in on the front lines and ready to push.
Look at that swing, though.
It's close. So overall, it does still feel like Fnatic have the greater control at this point. Still, TNC not quite at a stage where they can bring Gabby to the fight, and Gabby just starts to easily get to the back lines and pick up the squishier heroes. He still wants a bit more time as this Naga before he's really ready to fight.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a neat thing, too. I was thinking about Tim's why he would actually opt to go for this Orchid, and then it came to me, there's a Medusa who has a butterfly. You know, go for that. You actually help and benefit so much for your Naga and your TA. They're not going to be able to itemize that early on. I mean, the TA will be able to itemize for an MKB decently timing, but Naga Siren won't. That's actually going to help a lot. And if I believe I saw correctly, it was not a Manta built by 23 Savage. He went for the S and Y this time. So he won't actually have a way to dispel off that Bloodthorn. That could actually cause some problems. Once it does come out, as Tim's did acquire a crazy amount of farm after that bottom fight.
Do we have any Lotus builders on Fnatic's?
I mean, there's Clockwork, who's definitely a Lotus builder. He is not going for it at all. He's going for Solo Crest after the Ags. Venge, I guess you could argue could be one, but she's got the Vlads queued up, so yeah, it's going to be ways away before they do have anything that can dispel when that blood does come out. It still is going to be some time for it. Yeah, it could be a really cool pickup. I'm actually really intrigued to see if it actually ends up working. If it ends up doing it, because then it would be some like godly things from Tim's. Just this Bloodthorn first item Wyvern as a 4 position. Break people's subs.
So Ice he's got his axe done. So he's gonna be ready for
Just testing it.
Just want some of that Pentor booty. That's yeah, shot cooldown. And it's, yeah, ready to play with the overclock, of course. Yeah. Those that aren't aware, it's going to give him all those resetted cooldowns, and he's going to hit like a madman because that plus 200 attack speed.
And then stun himself.
Armel trying to throw it ice. He's just going to go in, goes in with the setup for the cogs. Armel turns towards him. That is a dead ice. And on the side, the rest of the team of Fnatic have to be careful. Gabby's looking for the setup.
They got on top of them and the bench.
They have already used the follow combo, so there's not really anything to throw out straight away. Chaps is not able to walk off though, and now the mana of Savage is being burned. The illusions are on him, but he's got enough to stand tall. Own gaze freezes up the wide. Savage, he's not done yet. He's going to try towards Gabby, but now one more snake gives him one more bit of burst of mana, but he's out of mana now. Savage is out of mana and he's out of help. The rest of Fnatic is leaving him behind. They cannot help the Medusa. Savage will fall. 75 seconds. He does not have buyback even. For TNC, they've got a good window of a minute to abuse the fact there's no Medusa for the defense.
I mean, and with the lineup that they have, I mean, they can actually look to take matches here. Fab for sure. This could be a problematic time here for Fnatic. They got it. I mean, way too aggressive by Ice's positioning, and then they kind of just started losing heroes one by one, which then isolates the Medusa, and that's exactly how TNC wants to play those fights. Isolate the Medusa so you can get the Nagasar illusions on top of her, burn that mana, and then when she's alone, then she's an easy kill. When she has everybody rallied around her, it's much harder to kill, but Ice with some very over-aggressive plays here, hook-shotting into the there.
I mean, if anything, this could have worked out right if the rest of Fnatic had just got out of there. You know, Ice threw himself in. They had to bail. Gabby just made sure they couldn't. The song catch gave them time to readjust and position around. And in the river, Ice.
Impetus. Oh.
Didn't do any damage at all, actually.
I think it missed. And there's that stun, of course, from the overclock. Aegis does get reclaimed. He is queuing that MKB, as we mentioned before, versus the Butterfly. And KP actually did switch the build, by the way. He actually decided that the Lesh was not the problem. It was more the Medusa at that timing. He went for the Halberd, the best item in the game, pretty much, versus Medusa, in order to stop her from holding her ground and just firing away. Savage significantly with all these items picked up for himself, but we are seeing TNC. This clockwork, the early game was fantastic, but he is starting to feel like he's falling off quite a bit here.
Yeah, very hard for him to be anything more than just a quick way to try and break up a team fight. You know, when it comes to actually getting the kills and staying alive, it's not easy. Armel just turns and instantly kills him off, as it were.
Well, Tim's isn't going for the blood anymore. He will after, but he's got the blink dagger queued up.
Okay.
He did have it queued though, but he was thinking about it.
I mean, I'm sure he will still go for it afterwards.
Yeah. I think it's just he wants to be more careful with his positioning, especially because he just died and he did buy back. So I think that's one thing he's a little bit. The Medusa Stone Gaze, so he made a bit of a mistake there.
Now looking for the big stuff now on Savage. Even though the game is still very even, he's already queuing up that rapier.
Oh wow!
I'd say a very sort of early consideration for the item, because they're not in a terrible position by any means. Sure, they've taken a few bad fights. I guess he does just feel that he doesn't have the physical damage to contest, you know, this TA, Armel, and Gabby punching into him.
I think he also...
But it is early.
He wants, in particular, that real true strike versus the Naga-san, right? Like, Naga's gonna get Butterfly eventually, and it's gonna be really annoying to be able to deal with her. She's also... she's got it. She's actually got it already, yeah. So that'll at least give this Medusa the permanent true strike, unlike MKB, which is not always gonna be able to give you that.
Oh, in the river, Ice. He's trying to run the trap slow, and Chaps will be able to offer him out a bit of help with the swap. And it's actually enough. Between the swaps and the glimpses, they get themselves away. DJ does have the full Aghanims done now. Fnatic, they're out and hunting. They pop the smoke.
Can they get a big jump here with it?
DJ's got to find a grab. With that Ag Static Storm, he's got a very, very good follow-up. He's got to be close, though. Gets him with a hook shot.
He has to be kind of close, though, right? Like, because if the hook shot comes in, he has to be relatively close. He doesn't have a blink dagger or anything to actually get on top of these heroes, but he does have a Yules and a telescope. So he's actually going to do himself.
Yules into Static. Armel. He's KP's gone. What do the rest of TNC want to do? iSize is going to chase with a hook shot, get himself on top of Tim's. KP's trying to fight this, goes for the TPR, but it's going to get cancelled immediately as KP will be run down by Savage, DJ, and Jabs. The 2 cores to fall, plus the Wyvern. As TNC, they go poking around in a place where they shouldn't. Fnatic catching them by surprise as DJ's just able to walk in. Yours, Aghanim Static Storm, it's going to do the job every single time.
Yeah. And he has Telescope, so he has that even further cast range to build to. I like that they made sure that he's one that does it. That's why you go this build. That's why you tend to see these disruptors. You always go for the Yules yourself first so that you can get that Ag Static Storm out right under. So you don't have to rely on anybody else to do your initiation for you. Because if it was the Clockwork, maybe he gets like out of range of it. As speaking of Clockwork.
Speaking of Gabby. He's going to have his illusions cleared through pretty quickly. He's got the song to rely on and does have a TP. Out he goes and stays just in range, so iSize was unable to go for a hook shot.
I was going to say, he was getting close to it.
He walked too far away from the clock that iSize would have been woken up and had the chance to get in, but no, Gabby keeps him in range.
They might have a window here for the Roche. They've got 12 seconds. It does respawn, but no, it's a bit too close to all of TNC respawning.
That Rapier is getting closer.
Yep.
They as I said, they do now have an advantage. It's going to be a very, very ballsy Rapier purchase. I've seen sort of a team pick it up this early on when they already have the lead, but Savage, he's making the call he has. Oh, he's also queued up the Satanic, so we'll see which way he goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets the Satanic instead, but you can always hope for an aggressive Rapier pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he has the item slots.
Yeah.
So, and we do see this talent picked up as well, that level 20, the 2.5 stone gaze duration. Really fun thing about that, of course, is that you can actually double stone people, as I think I always point out whenever I see anybody take it, because it's a really interesting one, as people always used to take the other talent. That one is actually really nice in particular versus these physical damage carries. And Rapier's online. He didn't hold back.
Oh, what a beautiful man!
And he even sold his boots, even though he might have had like a slot if he dropped the quiver. He doesn't care.
Oh, he did sell his boots. All right, all in on the Rapier in a game where they were in a 4K lead. Savage, he's ready to make that lead even greater. Up it goes. Look at the damage for that Rapier. Rip through March and now to get towards Armel. It's still in the ball. He just gets his out by the helmet. iSize has the control though. In with a hook shot. Armel is dead. And now Fnatic, they're ready to chase for more moves. Got the Yule's tongue combo onto Tim's. Tim's is gone. Jazz with the swap back. Savage just shoots down KP. Now goes toward Gabby. Gabby has song. He sings it. He's trying to run with the BKB up. Moon's just chasing, staying on top of him. So Gabby, he's got no chance to get out of this. Moon with that BKB destroying the Naga Siren.
I just can hear them yelling from here about it, just saying chase, chase, chase. They stick on top of him, and this Rapier already paying dividends immediately.
I mean, you know, if you get away with it, it's, you know, you're trying to fight into this Medusa that's, well, it's doing 685 right click in total at the moment. Savage, and that's obviously before the minus armor and such comes into play, that the rest of his team's ready to offer out with the debuffs. Savage is so strong right now,
and they have the thing is, I look at TNC's draft, and we mentioned earlier, it's like they just don't have stuns. If there was any ways to like stuns and stop this hero from actually doing damage, that's one thing, but the only real like actual like stuns, quote unquote, is a Wyvern curse and like a duel to actually stop somebody from actually doing straight up damage the whole time. So 23 Savage just holds his ground, just keeps hitting people.
I mean, he's just gonna make short work of the base. They do have a repair kit.
But he kills it fast enough to not care about a repair kit with the Rapier.
It does indeed. Let's hope that the Frog's not watching, doesn't get any wrong ideas and say, hey, repair kit needs a buff.
It needs a buff. It should add 100 armor.
A Savage indeed, just shooting down through the repair kit. Disarm slows him down a little bit, but he's got Aegis, he's got cheese. Is there any way that TNC can stop this Deucer right now?
No. Does not really feel so at all. This Rapier pickup actually was very, very nice, and she's about to hit level 25 as well, which makes her get even stronger. Another repair kit. He's just going to continue to beat right through that quite easily. And there we go. We got the modifiers now, so that's Scotty.
And just the reach, as I say, with that, the Venge buff, and when DJ's ready, the telescope as well, you just cannot stand far enough away from this Medusa.
Being a little cautious here.
Yeah, they'll wait until they've got at least that bottom creep way pushing forward as well.
Yep. But
He's gonna head over and grab it.
700 damage per hit though on the Duso. Like, I don't know what you do to this guy. With the cheese as well, with an Aegis, so many different forms of protection, and you're also playing into an Ag Static Storm a lot of the times too. So your positioning, you step up too far, you might just like lose one of your core heroes immediately because of that. Fnatic with a well thought up game plan, and it is working out. 15,000 gold lead, last set of racks, very close in front of them.
How are they going to kill him? How are they going to do it? He's got a full Satanic on his way as well. So Aegis, cheese, Satanic, so many lives that you've got to get through.
I do not know, Owen. No, I do not. They don't have any type of, I mean, Blade Mail wouldn't matter or anything along those lines either, but yeah, they just do not have great ways. He's got a Ghost Scepter duel.
A setup into a death. Nothing. It's nothing. They haven't got it.
They don't know. I mean, they just don't know what to do to be able to deal with it.
There is nothing to do.
They're just watching him.
They cannot approach the Medusa.
That was one of the funniest things I think I've seen in a while. They go Scepter duel just to slow him down for a moment, and then just dies.
Just, please, sir, stop.
Take it easy.
No.
That's my base.
Radiant's
Cheese gets eaten, puts his items in, the Satanic will be delivered as well, and he's just gonna finish off. And I mean, TNC, you might just have to make a YOLO go and try something here.
I mean, Gabby, he's headed in. Arno's puts the BKB there too, trying to go for the back lines. The song is there. Gabby trying to get away from that BKB Lestrak.
He can't get away.
He cannot. Moon lands the stun, the curse.
The Alpha Wolf, it's beating on him.
Holds back Savage. But Savage, he doesn't care. Resumes operation. Back to the tier 4. Back to the Ancient. What are you going to do? You cannot stop the Snake Lady. The game, it's hers. She'll sing it. She'll pop the story. It's over. It's GG.
Sings the song for people.
They've done it in game 2. They'll take the series back their way. It's 1-1 right now. And the Fnatic, the 23 Savage Medusa, picking up the Rapier. I mean,
5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. Turn to ban.
The third and final game of TNC taking on Fnatic, the Southeast Asian matchup, and it is elimination on the line. One more game, one team moving forward, another one falling flat. TNC is the defending champion of previous major. Fnatic got eliminated at this very same position last time around, and they would not like to have it happen again. And we're in the draft.
We are.
Right, first pick.
Yep, Fnatic got first pick again. Instant ban IO from TNC, and we got some different bans this time. We got the Doom, we got the Disruptor, not going through. Bat Rider again in the first phase.
Yeah, they really respect that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that the Disruptor was taken out, because I think the response last game wasn't, you know, that great. So I think you just remove it, make it a bit more comfortable for yourselves.
Please not Legion.
If they do it, that's not. No, you can't do it.
There's no way you're going to pick it against Wyvern, right?
No, so I go against one Wyvern.
No Omni.
No Omni. If you're looking at offlaners, I mean, the Baron that we talk about is still in the pool, but they go for the Shaker.
You can pick up something like Bat maybe a little bit later. We'll see.
Nope.
Nope, they cannot.
First again. Very first, or very last of the first phase.
Yeah, by them, actually.
Anything. Oh my god, alright, I don't see it.
Scrub. But I already like it. I think Fogged will be happy. Guess what? There's a playmaker on TNC. They got one. And already it does make a big difference, right? Because now your middle laner has to feel a little unsafe. We talked about how just right the Leshrac with an Earthshaker on the other team, all of a sudden, this is not that good of a hero middle.
Yeah, and we saw Tim's with his Shaker rotate a lot in the first game of the series as well. He made a lot of plays. He made a lot of things happen. So yeah. Good opening, and the Magnus Winter Wyvern. Are we liking that?
I love Magnus, so.
I like Magnus, but I think for me, the most successful strategy I've seen against these mag lineups is when you play really fast. So it used to be like maybe you would take this mag and you know it's a slower lineup because he's just going to be an empower bot to somebody else, and that hero needs time to be able to build up. So you pick something that is going to hit a really strong mid-game timing just ahead of you, like Alchemist or something. Yeah. But now I think it's actually because the mag can turn into a hard carry. You want to play a faster lineup, so I really like the Dro, like Huskar lineups that you can play against that. I want to see something that is going to dominate the laning phase and start bulldozing through towers, limit the amount of neutrals that they have available to farm with Empower.
Yeah. I'm a bit surprised about the PL ban here because, I mean, they have Mag themselves, and Mag is super strong against PL nowadays. Also, one thing to note about the first phase picks, I like Shaker a lot, first of all, with Ench, and I like it a lot when you're second pick. When you're second pick, usually you get to pick your midder later, and Shaker is at his strongest when he gets to rotate to lanes that are already strong, so he empowers them to be even stronger. So therefore, I think that pick makes a lot of sense. Other bans here maybe for Fnatic are, another save hero is probably, that is something good for TNC. Other than that, it's kind of open. And could be 5 as well, as it was in the last game. But I think the strongest role for that hero is the offlane.
Yep. Should we think about, if you're TNC, banning out the clock? Because I know they've been banning out the Timbersaw at this point in the game.
It's definitely the like you're at, especially with an Enchantress Earthshaker, right? These are two heroes, even in laning phase, you just get run at. Even in the mid game, you just get run at. It's hard to commit a ban to a hero I'm sure most teams don't consider good. I just assume, Keza, you captain, was there a time where players can you ban this here? And you're like, that hero is trash.
Of course, some people, specific players, they're paranoid about specific heroes. So sometimes you just have to tell them, no man, you need to chillax, it's fine.
They didn't ban the OD despite having a Magnus. That matchup's kind of that matchup. Like the whole idea of Mag is that you're supposed to use system power in the mid lane to be able to. You just have better damage, right? So you're gonna out CS them. But OD counteracts that by being able to imprison you out. So most of the time we see Mag picked up, OD's banned.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of gonna farm in the mid lane. I think Mag is still okay against OD because I think most heroes in general, they don't really enjoy that lane. Like you can't win it. So you can try to get some CS and then head back to the jungle and kind of farm. But overall, this OD pick is very solid. It's also really good against Winter Wyvern.
Yeah.
And if they put, because are we assuming that that Mag is going to be middle?
I would assume until we see other heroes, yeah.
Yeah, it is open, so of course it can be safe. It could even be offlane for Ice. He's played that in the past. So, but usually I think mid is like the most default lane for that hero.
Like the way you guys are describing it, that would be the only reason why you would let the OD in the pool. It's because you're not planning on putting them against each other. The Lich still coming in.
Or they forgot.
Or they forgot.
That's what makes Dota so great. Look at that. Hey, Insta-ABBA.
So I was going to bring up Abaddon at some point for this draft for TNC simply because they have this strong concept of sustain, right? Throughout the, both game 1 and game 2, right?
Yeah,
they have this idea against Fnatic, and when you have a lot of the sustain heroes being banned away, like the Omni Knight, the IO, you can't get your hands on that anymore. Well, what's another KP classic? Yeah. Abaddon.
It's a good laner. We talked about it. Lanes have been a big part of this. I mean, lanes are always a big part of Dota, but especially this tournament, it feels like we've seen some run over lanes into run over games.
It's another hero that like you just need to give a slight bit of a lead, and he'll be able to do okay. Not as good as Omni, but
the 23 Savage anti-mage, and that does mean that Fnatic is most likely saving Ice's hero for last.
Looks like it.
Which makes sense because you don't know yet what you're up against in terms of core. But what are we thinking about the anti-mage? Because we have seen 23 Savage play it before this tournament, only once against Aster, but they did win.
I think this hero is great, especially in this game with Magnus. I don't know how he's gonna build because I know there were some people that they would skip the Fury when you play with Mag. But of course, in power is a bit different now. It is worse for your allies. So I don't know if he's still gonna opt to pick up the Battle Fury. But his lane should be good. His game should be fine as well as long as he has a decent start. He matches up well against OD later on.
Isn't the Abaddon a little scary against anti-mage, or do you just burn his mana and he's not doing
he has Lich with him, and the average support is only a Shaker, so that kind of offsets the power of Abaddon in the lane.
Okay.
Exactly. I think it's literally AM, maybe a credit laner, but this Lich can almost 2v1 the ABBA and the Earthshaker. Yeah. You're going to start with like 6 mangoes.
I wonder if TNC can switch up the lane somehow, because Abaddon just, like, when he's left solo against an AM, especially with the Lich, you're just going to get crushed. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot. I wonder if they can pick up some sort of, like, aggro lane where they put the safe lane hero into the AM to try and pressure him more.
Pangolier maybe here for Fnatic. I think they need a type of hero in the early game that can play around with Lich, Wyvern, and maybe Mag to make some plays around the map. So some magic damage, a guy that just makes some space for the AM. Because kind of both him and Mag need to hit a lot of creeps in this.
And what about a Timbersaw? You guys liked it against Enchantress previous game, but we saw the Enchantress on the safe lane last time, not in the off lane.
Not against OD.
It could make some space, but it's not the greatest against OD.
Yeah,
it will be the Pango, as you said.
Because going back to what Fox said, you need a playmaker, and if you look, like Wyvern Ledge, they're not really roaming around. Magnus AM, they want to hit creeps. This Pango, he's going to be the big dog running around.
All right, final pick for TNC. They need a carry that can keep up with anti-mage.
Or just push quick.
Or push quick.
An OD
but in this meta, you kind of want to be able to keep up.
You do. As we've been seeing, games have been going long as teams have figured each other out.
They have a lot of time. I'm not quite sure how many carries they've played or like what heroes.
If they have, tell you.
Yeah,
Gyro, the ones that I'm going to mention only the ones that are not banned out. So Gyro, there's not that much left. Medusa
Gyro.
And Naga Siren.
Monkey King maybe?
Yeah.
If he feels great about Monkey, it could be okay.
Wait, I went through the wrong team. That was only for 23 Savage. I should be looking at Gabi. Why did my note go?
They played a Viper game, I think. Side lane.
I could see Monkey, but I'm not sure.
They played Avoid Shadow Fiend Ricky of the Heroes.
Nothing crazy is coming.
Oscar is coming. Is that Easy enough.
They're laning right now.
So they're putting, is it side lane OD or is it?
I guess it's safe OD.
Yeah, it's Gabby OD.
Yeah.
And we've seen that a little bit. I know during the qualifier, well, of course, that was a little bit ago. During the qualifiers, it's played quite a bit in NA, actually.
So they think instead of trying to address the AM's lane, I mean, maybe the OD goes into the AM lane. I have no idea, but there seems like a harder adjustment in trying to keep this mag down. So,
What are we thinking, guys?
This seems to be the closest one. Cat,
Yeah?
you got to choose the next 3 seconds.
I don't really.
Well, 3
No, I'm missing like a lot of playmakers, man. I don't feel good about either lineup in a way. I think TNC, or sorry, Fnatic.
You think Fnatic?
I'm gonna go with TNC. I have faith in their timing, but honestly, I think it's pretty close.
It is pretty close.
I'm going to go with a damn good game.
Yeah.
Let's have it with Odie Pixel and Fall.
You let yourself get carried away.
Wonderful.
Magic
Prepare
is an
for battle.
abomination.
Wonderful.
Stay frosty.
Time for the deciding game between TNC and Fnatic. I'm Odie Pixel here with Fogs, and Fogs, we do have that last pick, the Huskar, coming into play. How scared should Fnatic be?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure. Like, I think that they just need to hold on, and they do have heroes that can hold on pretty well, right? The Wyvern, they have the Pango, they have the Magnus, they have good ways of deep push, good ways of defending towers with the shield, from the Lich as well. But can they stall long enough for this anti-mage to actually have a game? That is going to be the big question to have. Is he going to actually be able to get to that force where he can actually like fight and just survive this maybe first 30-something minutes? It seems like that the draft for TNC really wants to hit that timing on.
And do you think overall, TNC last game, you said you didn't really like the draft because they struggled to sort of be able to make plays. You think this one already just having a shaker in, did that sort of solve the issues they had in game 2?
It's better than the last one, but it still feels a little bit limited. But it's going to be a lot depending on how this bottom lane goes too. Like, what's Gabby going to be able to get out of this lane? Is he going to be able to actually get any kills, or is he just going to get kind of owned? As it looks like they're going to start off with this aggro tri lane that might switch away, but I think they might try to get first blood. Okay, just kidding as I say that.
Alright, Jab's going to head up top.
Yeah.
Be there ready to help against the dual lane aggression of TNC with this Shaker, Abaddon duo.
I saw the Orb of Venom right away picked up on the Pango, so I was thinking maybe they might try to just make that first aggressive move right off the bat, but not be the case.
On mid lane? I mean,
how's this matchup?
I was going to say, obviously Moon, he's going to be able to clean up waves pretty quick with the Empower. He's got that hefty right click. But you'd imagine once at least the level 3s there on Armel, the harassment from the Burning Spears is going to be a little too much for even the tanky Magnus to withstand.
Yeah, more than likely. I'm just wondering if there's any type of situation where the Magnus just catches the Huskar kind of low, and he shockwaves him in, and then he gets an extra hit or two on him, because Magnus hits so damn hard. But yeah, I'd imagine that Armel, as soon as he gets level 3-4, he's able to really put the pressure on Moon and just force him to spend a lot more money on regen in comparison, because Armel he gets the innate built-in regen.
Moon, of course, will be able to play the jungle camps just that little bit better than Armel will, so whereas Armel may have control of the lane, you can expect Moon to probably do a good job of keeping up in farm.
Yeah, we see how hard he hits him every single time, that he is able to get that hit plus shockwave combo. But then you just get hit back even worse. So SKP, there's more mangoes available.
That's another blast. The slow's there. Savage is in. And first blood goes the way of the anti-mage.
They shouldn't be able to pressure this AM too much up in this top lane, too. It's an Earthshaker plus an Abaddon. Sure, they can block and ensure that the Abaddon's going to be able to get experience, but as for actually hurting or slowing down this anti-mage's farm, I'm not really seeing it from the lane in particular. The Huskar, that's a different story, but that'll come later on. Nice, nice, nice. He's just killing the pole, not allowing Marsh to be able to use that at all to reset the positioning of the lane. And yeah, Mag's just straight up jungling. So Mag's straight jungling, and Huskar will take the lane. Maybe Mag can actually like farm and match at a decent pace because it's a Mag.
Yeah, I think he will be able to do so. The way he's going to be able to clean up camps is going to keep him level. It just obviously mean that this Huskar will have just a flawless start in that lane, as there's not going to be any hero really that Fnatic will feel comfortable sending towards that mid to soak up experience, with Armel just having full control of that mid lane.
Yeah. Let's see if Tim's actually ends up doing anything to maybe mess or slow down just the farm of the Magnus a tiny bit, or even soak some experience. That might be the case, and he will be able to.
Oh, this is going to be pretty annoying for Moon. Knowing that his creep farming will be that little bit more, a little less efficient.
And Armel is going to be, he's going to be a pretty farmed Huskar. And if they can really set the tempo around him with that Abaddon, with this draft, can they just like look to pressure down all those towers to not let the AM get all that space with the Empower? Will be interesting to see as we feel. Oh, look at these lovely items on Jabs. 5 mangoes now. He just brought more.
I mean, he knows that there's a lot of kill potential on KP. If he could just keep him low.
As Brock said it, it's mango season.
Yeah. And the supports, especially Lich players, they know it.
Mm-hmm. The Liches and the Disruptors in particular, they're just like, mangoes, yay! I click my nuke on you, you suffer. And they are suffering. Look at KP. 7-1 last hits.
Yeah, massively bullied in that top lane.
Yeah. They've made the AM miss a significant amount of last hits, though, like in comparison to the OD. You see he's 22-3 to the 16-10, but he's still doing enough. And he got himself the first blood, too, so.
That's Hims. He's got the Fisher to play with. So Jab's having Savage around. All that he can do, throw the Fisher, and attempt to maybe snipe some creeps. Won't be the case. Savage. Just the neutrals, can get the wave. Moon, keeping that efficiency up, stacking camps, cleaning them up.
Ah, the value Gloves of Haste. Such a good item now. 400 gold. Allows you to farm that much faster. Level 4 jungler farming at this rate. Empower. Strong spell.
Pretty much that whole sort of mid scenario going exactly as we've had. You're just going to see Armel have the experience advantage, whereas the Magnus can keep up for the most part in terms of gold. The XP for the jungle is just not going to compare to the XP that Armel's soaking up in this lane alone.
Golden jungle is also quite a lot less. He's actually already behind by over 1,000.
Oh,
from that stuff, because he's fighting like the medium camp that's right next to him. So
yeah,
like, it can be. If it's like a mud golem, like these little satyrs, it really does get inflated by quite a lot.
What's Armel going to do with this, though? I guess you stay in the lane until you get the armlet.
Until you take the tower. Yeah, take the tower, and then he can look to move around and put pressure all over the place and slow down the AM. Just run at the AM's tower, get him out of that lane next after he looks to take out mid. But we already see Wyvern is mid. He wants to slow down that push, especially that first catapult wave in particular.
There's not too much you can do other than just try and pull the creeps away, because standing close to Armel is not an option. Back up top, KP. They're going to chase him.
They've got the Orb of Venom, but the Blink is on cooldown. KP, he's going to make them work for it if they do even want to change. If they do want to chase, but...
Yeah, he gets away. Heads to the north. They don't catch him out. March is going to step in, take the carry away from Jabs.
Very nice. He's gonna hit Jabs. He's got the stun. They've also got Tim's here.
They do. They step forward. Jabs able to get the Sinister Gaze off in time, but Tim's doesn't matter. Still able to lay down the Fisher on the two of them. Slam down Jabs. March is trapped in.
Oops.
A little bit of an unfortunate side effect there from Tim's.
Oh, tower actually switches onto Armel for a second. TP comes in from Ice.
They're trying their best to take down the Huskar. An extra TP coming in. A verifies pop. Armel trying to walk it off. He cannot do so. The regen not strong enough for this point of the game to outdo the heavy right clicks of Moon, as Armel will be knocked out of the middle.
A very convenient Invinus rune as well to put him, to displace him under the tower there, since he doesn't have the RP yet. Wouldn't have been able to do so if he wasn't finding like an invis or a haste.
Yeah, great heads up though from Fnatic to really use that to maximum potential. You know, Armel, he was having all the space in the world. They cannot afford to let him get too far ahead, as they know that as soon as he does move over to AM's half of the map, it's not going to be happy times for Savage.
Yeah, I love the decision from like Ice in particular. He's only level 4 in the bottom lane, but he's like, they know what the most important things is keep that mid tower alive as long as possible so that they can have the AM actually stay top as long as possible, because as soon as mid tower goes down, Huskar will make the rotation. Will inevitably go down though, and we will see Armel now start to make moves all over the place. Actually, it looks like he's actually still started keeping going, at least for this wave here. But likely to see him pressure the anti-mage lane very, very soon.
AM's farm still at the top for his own squad, but both Moon and Ice lagging behind a little bit.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And Savage's game it's just not going to get easier once Armel starts making the rotations. Pressure will be onto him.
Much also getting that courier. Nice little slow down, Gabby. Able to get in range for the totem. They will. The disarm though. He's actually forced to throw the ulti because of it. Onto a support.
I think he's fine. It's a pretty slow-paced game. So 8 minutes, only 2 for 3. They already have the lead TNC in the way that they're farming.
They got good lane setups. That's pretty much what they went for in this game. They put that OD bottom because he's versus a Pangolier, so he's able to get these last hits quite nicely, because they didn't actually put the Lich down there either. I thought that's why they might actually put the Lich to try to slow down the OD at all, but no, not the case. And OD is going to be able to get that full free farm as well as the Huskar.
We'll see it again here. The aggression from TNC to get him, find a play. Tim's unfortunately trapping March into his own death.
It was a nice trap though.
Like you say, hey, 2-man fish, and then March is like, oh. Thanks, Tims.
He was dead anyway. He was gonna get hit by the Arctic bird.
But you know that he was blaming Tims in the chat. Yeah, Tims.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget. Stay frosty.
So we're gonna have to watch the next few moments of where the Huskar goes. Looks like it is gonna be first him finishing the armlet before he actually does leave the lane. He's very close to it anyway though, so he will have that one, and then likely, as we were saying, go toward that top lane with KP. Still can be a bit tough for them to like overall hunt the AM, because their lineup is really lacking overall in disables. It's just really the Earthshaker who can set up for it, but that's not really what the draft is the point of them this time around, right? They picked a Huskar because they want to just group up and death.
Yeah, they just want AM out the way.
Yeah.
So they don't need to kill him, they just need to win the game before he's ready to kill them.
Yep, exactly. Ice does not get astraled. He is watched stepping up though. An aggressive swashbuckle forward. Eating those mangoes. Oh, if you kill him after he eats those double mangoes, yeah, they're going on it now. Oh, no. The value. Oh, no, Ice. Okay, he's able to get out. All right. Imagine you eat triple mangoes and you die. Oh, 210 gold down the drain.
The last supper. Top KP. He's got borrowed time. He's fine. I mean, Fnatic, you know, obviously having the Magnus for the AM, AM's farming speed is going to get amped up if he's able to sort of head over when he gets to the point where he has to be forced out of the lane. But
here's that
yeah, here's now the time where Savage has got to consider where he wants to be. And it's certainly not in this lane against Armel. He'll head away. Jabs does commit to get the outpost. He's going to pay with his life. Armel jumps forward.
That's value. Absolutely value. 150 XP to all of your teammates for your deaths on your 5 position. Well done, Jabs. So yeah, now top tower, and it's just gonna have to be can TNC keep pressing this issue forward on Fnatic? So it's a lot of eyes on DJ too to see how much he can slow them down, because that's pretty much the big job out of this Wyvern in this game, is just to stall the game out so that AM can get online versus this lineup. Because AM, if he's able to get farmed enough, I mean, he reigns supreme in this game for sure, if he gets to the very late stages.
Dire structures are fortified.
This tower will be theirs. No chance for Fnatic to try and hold on to tier 1s. It's not part of their plan for now. They've got to let these outer objectives go whilst they just make as much as they can happen with the space that they do, you know, that they can control safely. They know that with Savage over on the bottom side of the map, he's far away from that scary Huskar.
They can look to fight on these next few towers, though. They have the level 6 on the Pango, the supports as well, Magnus too. AM doesn't want to get involved pretty much at all, but the rest of them can fight pretty well. Like, Pangolier is pretty obnoxious. Even if you're a Huskar who's super tanky and all this, you're just going to keep getting chain stunned if you're in a bad position. So we could see them look to fight at least around those tier 2s.
Yeah, Savage. It's the safest place on the map, really. Being in the Radiant jungle, this is where he's got to farm. Bottom lane. Okay. Set up there with a Sinister Gaze. Marsh does get the chance to start the healer going, but Moon skewers in straight back into the path of Ice's Thunder.
Oh.
They're going for both, though.
Very early one.
With that armlet, he can do it safely, especially with having KP. I mean, the armlet also can do it alone. KP just makes that a little bit safer. Oh,
you say that,
but they still get it. KP's happy.
He doesn't want to take the Aegis, though. They want the Huskar to get it.
Oh no. Okay, KP's can have it.
Oh, but that's not who they want to have it.
I mean, KP's happy. He's suddenly level 8.
Yeah, he just got a lot of XP for it, but let's see that one. Oh, the toggle.
I mean, I thought he'd be safe. The shield was broken through. KP didn't have another shield to throw out.
That was a big hit. He bashed, right? He had 190 HP.
Bash. Oh, no. I thought he'd be safe. I spoke too soon. And he was not. But, yeah. KP, I think KP's happy.
Yeah, KP's definitely
happy.
He jumped like a full level and level plus or so.
Maybe solo XP from the Roche. There's an offlane about it.
And the gold too, right? Well, he gets the last hit at least.
Yes, he got the last on it. Yeah, well, it was a good job that the Roshan was low, otherwise that could have been a bit of a disaster if Armor ended up going down any time earlier in an attempt.
If Fnatic gets that Roche, it's pretty like, what the hell, like, Jesus, game just got impossible pretty much. But now we see Fnatic are going to continue to just play the farm game as we expect. Getting closer and closer toward this Battle Fury. TNC, you got to press the issue forward, but now a little bit scary because you don't have a Huskar with an Aegis. You usually want your Huskar with the Aegis to be that very confident frontliner. He still should be pretty confident anyway without it, but that Aegis always gives you that little bit of extra leeway in case you do make a misstep. OD has it at least, but yeah, you want it on the Huskar.
Oh, Savage.
This thing's on cooldown. Blink's on cooldown. Can they actually set up for him with the Echo?
They'll drop everything, no messing with the ults.
Should not be showing in lanes at the moment. He has to be playing much safer than that.
I think that was going to be a rude reminder of that for him there. As, blinks in mid, instantly dies. He's not going to do that again.
I don't think he can make a lot of these mistakes in an AM game when you're playing versus a Huskar. If you make one too many, you just lose your entire base. The curse comes out. Is there any other follow-up? Chainfrest not gonna be the greatest. Okay, now bounces back, but
tower is under attack.
Just to stall the tower, it seems.
Bottom lane. TNC, they've got enough catch. Oh, have they? Swashbuckle and a rollout. Actually, Ice didn't even need to use the Thunder.
He's gone for more utility this game again. Not his javelin. No javelin build, which I know makes us sad.
I know. He just missed the damage. That efficiency. That. But as you say, I guess focused on more keeping himself alive and helping out the team.
Being a team player. Oh, and a beautiful find 23 Savage. It hits 15 minutes, and 2 seconds into that 15-minute mark, he gets himself a Ring of Aquila. Can't ask for more. On the other side, Gabby gets himself a Vambrace.
Okay, take it for himself. I wonder if I kind of felt you want to give that to Armel, don't you? Some of the more value, buffing him up, giving him an extra slot early.
It's good on the OD as well. I actually don't mind the into embrace when you do get it on like these int heroes early on. And now he has like an item slot opened up too, probably. So I think he was actually already limited on inventory a bit there. So now he has. I think I saw Blink Dagger picked up on the OD. So he has Blink, Force Staff, and a Vambrace and an Aegis. So yeah, he needed the slot.
Oh, that is a.
Oh, he left the clumsy net there, but he's got buddies to pick it up.
Yeah, we want to get the Pango getting it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Well, okay, we'll see it now. ISO didn't go pick it up for himself.
He kills a branch for it. He doesn't even leave the branch. He kills the branch to pick up the clumsy net as well.
Mid lane, whoa!
Whoa.
Arm out with the jump in. They're going to need some help with Moon. They do have it. The curse is out. Moon, he's holding over the ARP. He's looking for the two big ones. Get the two cores. There's the forest. Swordbuckle moving in with the rolling thunder. Arm out taken out as well as Tim's. They turn over towards Mars. The Edge cannot, or can he escape? He's trying to run. Savage is in. Mana Vault does nothing. He did not look at the mana. He just wanted to do it, and it did nothing. Meanwhile, over the other side, another ult's thrown down. Gabby seeing him go down the once. Can they do it a second time? Fnatic surrounding him. Gabby skewered back. I mean, if he can't see them, they can't see him, right? That's what he's hoping for. What? Just got a blink out, but they've got the chase. Blink is there from Savage.
They don't have the chase.
They're not committing.
They're actually not going to be able to get him there. The blink plus the force out.
Gabby gets out.
Okay, that's okay. I was going to say if they lose him there, that's going to be real bad. But either way, you know, I was mentioning about you can't make too many mistakes as an anti-mage lineup versus a Huskar draft. You can't make a lot of mistakes as a Huskar draft versus an anti-mage Magnus draft.
Yeah, you've just given anti-mages battle fury off the back of that fight.
And you didn't even get yourself like a big tower or something to be able to like you didn't trade anything for that there. You just kind of died yourself to give a massive amount of farm to the side of Fnatic.
Really nice Winter's Curse, and then you know your sort of patience from the Magnus, making sure he gets the two big ones in that RP. And he certainly did.
Yep. And a nice Chain Frost follow with Ice. Like we said, there's a lot of team fight on the side of Fnatic. So being able to actually fight at those tier 2s is possible.
Something that TNC will be very aware of next time. Just diving past those towers, it's not something they can get away with without being punished with Fnatic's great team fight heroes. And Savage, level 12, the Battle Fury, he's still sailing pretty nicely with the farm. Sure, Huskar, Armel has the lead on it all. But I think you've got to be a little worried if you're TNC that Savage, he's hitting those timings and he's going to be farming pretty nicely, being able to sweep the map. You talked about the lack of catch. A lot of pressure is on Tims to lead the charge and set up fights onto this AM.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you just actually itemize for a Hex on the OD next. I see he has the Hurricane Pike queued up, but I think they might actually just have to go for a Hex like immediately as soon as they can after this. He's gonna still finish up that Dragonlance Hurricane Pike build up first, but yeah, they're gonna really need it to be able to lock down this AM. It can't just be Tim's to be able to one to do so. Back to the game plan, TNC look to pressure down those towers, but I mean Fnatic, they've got their ults up again available soon. The tier 1 they don't care about so much, but that tier 2.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Gabby, what sort of backup does he have here? He's got Tims. Lock him down a little bit. It's very tanky Moon though. He skewers away. They turn their attention towards the easier kill. Jabs will not be able to get out. So TNC at least able for a support, but already we're seeing the difficulty it takes to try and kill like the cores. Mid lane, ISO gets jumped apart, but the Rolling Thunder's out, and he is away. They're struggling to lock down these cores. As Moon and Ice and 23 Savage, they've all got mobility to play around with.
Yep.
So picking off and fighting, that doesn't seem to be an option for TNC. TNC's best bet is still definitely the group up and objective push. But it's going to get harder and harder because Fnatic's farm on their cores is very good.
They have to, for the next few moments, they have to just kind of contain, make sure they don't make any like glaring mistakes, maybe try to get these small little pickups on the side, but it's really all about this next Roshan. That's going to be the big timing where TNC has to really press the issue. And I mean, I usually want to say like the second Rosh is really where you want to actually get like a Rax advantage, especially when you're playing versus an AM lineup. So they have to really press the issue forward here as Fnatic. They've actually got the gold lead with an AM Magnus lineup versus a Huskar. You're already definitely feeling quite stressed if you are a TNC fan.
Big Gabby. Charge set up. Tim's is in the area. Jumps in. DJ gets the chance to pop the Winter's Curse, and that's going to give him space to away. They try to use the ult. Gabby goes in for the kill attempt, but now he's dragged by the Citizen Gaze. They drop the Echo Slam. Gabby turns, looks towards Ice, puts him in an Astral. But Fnatic, they're still good to fire. It's out of the 3. Bo3 time in a Phoenix Shield, using the counter plays KP to try and keep his team alive, but they've lost March. Gabby's in trouble. Tim's comes in again to try and keep the OD safe. Armageddon's now being able to turn up. Goes in on a Savage. Savage still has to blink. Gets away. They've lost a second support on TNC. There's 2 dead. Can they get more? TNC still with their own cores, ready for catching. They've found jabs. Cancels the TP out with the Astral. They'll make sure that both supports are traded in return.
Having KP playing Abaddon makes that, the RP, you see it right away, it's like, oh my god, it's on 3 heroes, but then, there's an Abaddon. He pops ulti, he shields somebody, they're able to actually turn and still fight that a little bit there, but they don't get the big kills. They will, though, get that big tower that they are looking for. They're immediately sending those couriers toward that Roche pit to be able to scout when it does come up. Gabby's trying to chase forward. Doesn't quite get that blink chase, though. And wow, a very early BKB coming out.
All right.
He wants to get involved. And did you see the next item he had queued up pretty soon after that on the AM? Manta Rapier.
He's having a joke.
It's True Strike versus Halberd. What do you mean?
He's not getting a rapier. I would let 23 Savage. He's the man when it comes to rapier purchases, but anti-mage rapier.
Abyssal's just too good of an item on AM. But that would be pretty crazy if he does go for something like that.
He would be the kind of guy to do it. On top Ice. He's been caught. This time, Tim's straight on top of them. He has the lockdown. Jabs. Ooh, he's keeping away. He's not going to make it. Tim's easily able to come in, drop another touch.
These kills better. Gabby, especially getting the ones who's getting the last hits, he's getting close to a Hex. He's got the Mystic Staff, I believe, finished up already now.
I'm playing lovely and aggressive with this playing. 6-0-1. He's just always been leading the way. They've not been able to kill him yet.
Yeah, I love the build-up, him going for that. So because he knows he can play that like aggressive style. He knows that the way that Fnatic wants to play this game is just very passively and just getting 23 Savage online. And now Roche is up. Can Fnatic contest this one? They have all the ults, and they have very strong ones around that Roche pit as well, but it is starting to die pretty quickly. AM though, 23 Savage is actually just looking to hit on the bottom side, but there is an OD there to respond. And it does not look like the Fnatic can respond whatsoever. TNC already has wards placed out too. March, he's actually just walking up into the high ground versus a anti-mage as an enchantress. No fear.
Not charging in. Got Tim's in the mid. Tim's actually going to get jumped on, but now he turns, moves. He committed for this. The Winter's Curse from DJ is used. Do they have any forward? They're heading in. RP on the turn. The Savage goes in with the BKB. This anti-mage, he's ready to fight. He's finished farming way earlier than ever any other anti-mage ever before. He looks towards Armel. The Aegis is taken. They've killed off 2.5 of them. Can they do Armel a second time? He's back up with a second life. The BKB for Savage wears off, so he'll hold back. But very, very active involvement. A 24-minute AM with this BKB, seeing the opportunity to fight, and it's a great time. He stops TNC from keeping their Aegis. Now it's a lot harder for TNC to make something happen off the back of that Roshan, and they lose 2 pretty big heroes. Tim's is gone, and so is Gabby, and Gabby hadn't died yet this game. 23 Savage making these great item decisions.
Yeah, and it really is so much about that timing with the Aegis, with the cheese, that you're able to just really press your advantage as a Huskar line to try to take a Rex, but Moon with that bait, he pretty much just forces all of them in there, and 23 Savage, he's able to actually stick on top of Gabby and get a nice mana void.
Yeah, he just knows he can go in, has nothing to worry about. And it's exactly what Fnatic needed to just continue to stop TNC from being able to build up that power that they were hoping for off the back of the Roche.
Yep, and now all they really need to do is just keep their lanes pushed out. And there's no Aegis, so TNC is going to feel a lot more at risk of doing any of those type of plays, pushing past the river, going for any of those like deep other towers. Definitely feeling good for Fnatic here, though. Even though you still see that Huskar, top net worth, it's that AM, he's trickling. He's gonna catch him very soon. Surprised to see how fun the Wyvern is, too. Surprising, but not so surprising because it's DJ. But level 14 with a Blink Dagger, so he can have good positioning, and oh, Moon.
Also, I mean, that's BKB TP up.
They keep setting up on him, the dynamic duo, it seems, Gabby and Tim's, constantly looking for these aggressive plays. Oh, a nice pickup for 23 Savage. Look at that. His free Vladimir's for an anti-mage, Paladin Sword.
Level 19 as well with all these fights that Savage has been able to get involved in.
Gonna have to sell his Wraith Bands already, though. We'll be able to pick up that ulti up and get closer to that Manta style. Losing a little bit of gold value on those Wraiths.
And Mooney's going for the Orchid, something that's very, very necessary against KP. Now he can sort of look to get in with the RP and the silence to make sure that KP cannot use the active element of borrowed time and a Aphotic Shield to save himself +1 from the RP.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, it's a very different type of pickup, very different type of style.
I think
it's also just really nice versus OD in a lot of the games, in a lot of the cases throughout the whole game as well. So, yeah, okay. I mean, I think he knows he's the empower bot. He's gonna be able to get some of his right clicks, but his job is really just to ensure that 23 Savage has the best game possible. So. Unorthodox, though.
Back to pushing again, TNC down. A little split, Tim's in the mid. He's got to be careful, the curse into the big skewer back. Tim's, he does have the backup of the OD coming in, and Fnatic will respect that. They won't stand around any longer than they need to. Spaces there up top for Savage to take a tier 2 on his own.
He still has the rapier queued up.
I mean, there's honestly, if he does it, I mean, it's good. With the BKB and the rapier.
Versus Halberd, he's gonna hit right through him, right?
And they may just need that sort of crazy damage to kill Armel reliably. We'll see if he does it. We'll see if he does it. But there's definitely every reason to believe that he will, knowing what we've seen so far from 23 Savage.
I'd be really, I'm excited for it. I hope so.
It could be the big brain play. And you know he's going to feel a little tempted after how impactful it was last game. Obviously a very different situation, but
yeah. But still.
It is that item. You get it and you get away with it, you just win the game. If he BKBs jumps on these heroes, there's not a lot that they can do to get him off them.
No, they have no BKB piercing anything really on the side of TNC. He should be able to have free reign when he does stick on the target as the jump forward. Moon.
See, and the skewer back, dragging Armo up to the high ground. He's separated from the rest of the Moon, popping the BKB, trying to take down Tim's on his own. Tim's is able to back away. Jabs throws out the chain front. There's 23 Savage just blows up Gabby. Now turns his attention over towards Armo. Ice, bouncing around, knocking him around. Armo is able to pop the keys, pushes them back with the disarm. Tim's, he's in the 2-man slam. He's caught Moon, he's caught the AM. Moon is falling low, will die to the burning spears. Tim's falls, but he already did his job. Savage is still fighting fit though. This anti-mage has taken no damage at all. Will get rooted, but he jumps across. There's the RP from Moon, locking down Armel. Pulls back KP with the shockwave. KP trying to off up when he can, but KP is out of mana. Armel is still burning them all down. This is Huskar. They cannot quite kill him. He's trying Savage, but he has to retreat. Blinks away. Armel just too strong.
He just holds his ground. I believe who's got that solar crest? It is March. March is also able to survive in most of the fights because as soon as the AM turns to hit an Enchantress, he actually does not have the attack speed to be able to kill this, and so the Ench is constantly throwing the solar crest onto that Huskar and making him that much stronger.
I mean, and if I'm 23 Savage, I'm looking at that fight and I'm saying,
I need damage.
I need a rape. Well, we see it here again. I mean, some lovely plays. Tim's as well, getting away as he did in that top right. He's so low, and he just getting back in with that echo. He just keeps that extra bit of control being there. When he dies, you know, start juking those shockwaves. And Armel, meanwhile, is just picking them off one by one. Then comes Tim's. It's just, you know, sure Tim's dies, but it's that extra bit of lockdown that allows Armel to just reposition, get over there, and just continue to keep the fight in TNC's favor.
They don't get Savage, though. And speaking of Savage, he now has claimed the top net worth of the game. But He is not going to be going Raven.
Oh, well, maybe. His team
still has the choice. Maybe he's
maybe
he's doing that for his team.
Yes.
His team clicks on him. Oh, he's going MKB. We're good. Little do they know.
Little do they know.
Radiant's
A nice jump forward there by the OD, picking up a solo kill, has to pop the ulti, but I think he's just trying to get closer and closer toward that Hex, which I believe was pretty much finished up now for the OD. So more ways to at least try to catch the anti-mage pre-BKB usage.
I mean, just because how do they kill this Huskar? It seemed pretty much impossible in that fight. They had the full 5 of them. They couldn't deal with Armel.
They have to isolate him. The thing is, he still had like teammates kind of rallied around him. He had the solo crest. He had like some of these little buffs that was making him that much stronger. If they can isolate him, then they should. And this item also will help quite a lot, as we see picked up too. The MKBs versus that halberd.
Disappointment.
A disappointment. Ooh, Paladin Sword plus Satanic as well, you know, now on a Huskar. So he was already lifestealing a lot. Now not only does he have more lifesteal, his lifesteal is also more effective with that wonderful item that we love so much. And KP's got a fun item. Probably one of my my favorite items from TI that we saw, the Aghanim's Abaddon. The constant miscoil heals to be able to protect your allies.
That's just going to make it even harder to take down Armel. With KP in the neighborhood and Fnatic. See what sort of a catch they can get with this smoke. Sweeping around, all ultimates good to go for themselves.
They know Roche is going to be spawning soon. That's why they're trying to get a fight before that does happen, because they know TNC, as soon as Roche goes up, that's exactly where they're going to run to, and they do not want to fight versus another Aegis.
Now March, he's not really the dream catch.
No, he's still annoying to kill because of Untouchable. Unless he walks up by himself, but the jump.
He's there. Ice, puts the BKB in the Rolling Thunder, starts to play around with Armel and KP. But the fact that Luck Break, Armel's trying to chase in onto the Pangolier. Another swashbuckle gets Ice back up to the higher ground. March turns towards Moon, but a skewer away will save him. Gabby does catch jabs on the back.
Hey, I mean, March they can't kill the Enchantress. The attack speed slow is just too much for them. As into Roche they go. It's an Aghanim's Blessing on that Roche as well. We see 23 Savages already immediately trying to push top a bit in. They got to get in here soon.
He's going for it. He's going to start the action. Looking at Armel, but Armel just turns lifesteals up, and that's the BKB committed by Moon. So he won't have the BKB if he wants to try and get in there a second time. Roche getting low. Fnatic, they've got to do something soon. DJ's getting better. He can play it. Tommy has it, but Roche is down. They did get the kill on Roche and Fnatic, but Gabby is able to secure the Aegis.
Okay. He stole what? The Aghanim's Blessing, and I think the cheese was still on the side of. Yes. I didn't see where the cheese went.
Savage got the Aghanim's Blessing for himself, so he was able to stop TNC from getting that. And cheese done,
Armel.
So TNC, they got the cheese and the Aegis. Fnatic, they got the kill and the blessing.
Yeah, so you see that gold lead. It jumps up because of how much that Aghanim's Blessing is worth. So that's why you see the anti-mages, that net worth really skyrocket, and it really go to a 6K net worth just because of that item.
And this, not an Aghanim's we see pretty much ever. It's pretty terrible. Not what you'd ever build on an anti-mage. Whoa! It's Moon.
Gabby?
He's dead. Savage. He's just going to kill Gabby for this, surely.
He's got Aegis.
He's on cooldown. Can he take him at once? He's got to back off. He knows the rest of TNC's there, so he cannot afford to try and pop the Aegis of Gabby. But so this one,
he puts the spell on cooldown.
Got to kill someone with the mana void. It's very, very specific. I think there is still like that little bit of a timing where you hit them with the mana void, you have like a second or something to kill them after, and they do get that debuff. And it puts the last spell you used on an additional cooldown. How much is it again?
I think it's like 70 seconds?
100 seconds.
Oh, it's 100. Oh my god, I've never seen this item before. Ever built on an anti-mage, so.
I mean, it can really mess with some of these heroes, right? You take, just little things.
What if it's Fissure?
Exactly.
100 second cooldown. Oh my god, speaking of it though,
he didn't expect that. He didn't expect that.
Here's the buyback. Are they just gonna? Did they just lose?
Dude, he's short of buyback because his net worth is inflated by the Aghanim's Blessing. Oh no! It's not a blessing, it's an Aghanim's curse! He's gonna be fine. Well, he's short 50 gold.
They're gonna lose at least a set. Okay, he's got buyback. They got a bounty rune. I
Okay, they got a bounty rune.
Maybe Oz was waiting for it, but it's dropping. They have the frost shield on it. Pango's starting to commit forward.
Here we go. Starting the action outside side. Still 25 seconds before Savage is in. Moon goes in with the skewer back. Gets arm out very early. And there's the buyback. RPU still jumping. Looking for the commitment of the defensive Astro. Odie was able to get in time. Keeping Armau safe for a little bit. He's back out, and now Armau's good to fight. Savage trying to commit with the BKB. Burning the matter of Armau. But Armau takes his attention back towards the melee racks as he'll finish that off. Oh, really? Moon gets another skewer in. Armau, he's still ever so strong. Cheese is popped. Full health he goes. They do get the full second set of racks. As Fnatic now in a very rocky position. 2 racks down, an AM buyback used, and they couldn't punish TNC for it at all.
Oh, one blink by 23 Savage, too aggressive down in that bottom side of the map, and they get so punished by it. They had no way to fight either, because the Magnus had no buyback. You saw that, right? They were just waiting for the Mag to respawn for them to actually have any type of fighting chance, but TNC, they just rallied behind this enormous Huskar. And they have the saves, right? Like the OD. Sure, you saw the Huskar. He got dragged under the towers, but that was a clutch Astral coming out from Gabby. I even saw DJ. DJ bought a refresher in that fight, too, on the Wyvern to try to maybe set up for some further situation in the fight, but TNC was just able to disengage too easily. And oh no! Savage the Hex! Oh no! That's game.
That is game. Oh, feels bad for Savage. That is almost certainly the end of Fnatic's run here. Those 2 deaths.
Yeah, those 2 mistakes.
And he's gone.
There's a couple gone too.
They're out the tournament unless they can do some sort of a miracle.
There is no way that they can kill this Huskar with an Abaddon sitting behind him with an Aghanims, especially with all the items he's got with no AM. Oh, what a way to go out for Fnatic. They're gonna try.
He's gonna look for the skewer back on Armel. Armel diving in even deeper. He says, please, I'll happily fight you. Hex is there on DJ. DJ dead without buyback. TNC, they'll clean up the third final set of racks, get the megas, and they're on to the tier 4s as they are more than ready to shut this one down and take a step forward here at the Leipzig Major. Gabby just bullying Fnatic, holding them inside the fountain. They have no means, no way to fight TNC, as TNC are far too strong right now. 1 tier 4 left. Ice getting blocked up by the Fisheries, trying to bounce around. He's trying to slow them down. By some sort of time for backup to come in. Moon skewers in, pops the BKB. Armel jumps straight on top of them. They're firing out the chain thrust. They'll have Wyvern back in 10 seconds, but the Ancient is falling. The Frost Shield slows it down a little bit, but there's no way they can stop TNC. GG is full. And TNC take the series 2-1. They will move on as they knock Fnatic down and out.
I really love this Huskar pick, and I mean March. I like the way March like itemized too. And Enchantress, he went for this this Solar Crest, and he's this Enchantress that's actually unkillable in the fights, and he just buffs up this Huskar over and over again. But Fnatic, Savage, with a couple missteps, a couple misblinks, just gets completely destroyed.
I mean, you get caught out like that once.